Ever since Lin Ming casted the 18 fire wheels, the attitude of the entire school towards him had changed 180 degrees. When the students saw Lin Ming, their eyes were filled with respect. The people in Lin Ming's dormitory even bragged that they were in the same dormitory as Lin Ming. Even the teachers of the school talked about Lin Ming in their spare time. This series of things happened because there was an extra name in the list of people who would be participating in the Magic Academy competition. In 3 months' time, Lin Ming, the school even arranged for a special tutor for him. Tier 5 Fire Mage, Reg. At the back of the mountain of the school, Lin Ming, do you have any magic that you want to learn in particular? Wearing a Tier 5 Fire Mage's robe and a black face, the bald magic teacher sized up Lin Ming. Seeing that Lin Ming's eyes did not have the arrogance of other talented youths, Reg was very satisfied. At this moment, Lin Ming was a little nervous. The bald teacher was known as the most terrifying and strict teacher. Some students finished his class crying. Anyone who did not complete the other party's requirements within the stipulated time would receive strict punishment. Teacher, I want to learn a defensive spell, Lin Ming replied. Tomorrow was the day he would enter the mountain range of magical beasts, and he had already planned to learn a defensive spell. Hearing Lin Ming's words, a trace of admiration appeared on Reg's face. One had to know, although a mage's attacks were extremely powerful, their defensive power was their fatal weakness. Reg had also taught many mages who were known as geniuses. Those so-called geniuses wanted to learn all kinds of offensive spells right from the start, which made Reg very angry. However, Lin Ming's answer made him very satisfied. Watch closely the fire-controlling spell. Condense the flames to form a spherical protective cover. Condense the illusion into reality. Reg quickly cast it once, and his words from the beginning were still unusually cold. Without any praise for Lin Ming's words, soon, the name of the fire-controlling spell appeared in Lin Ming's mind. He clicked on the plus sign. Ding, your fire-controlling spell proficiency has increased. Current level is beginner, level 1. A mechanical voice sounded in his mind. Lin Ming also began to mobilize his magic power, and waves of flames burst out from his palm. Like a swimming dragon, they coiled around Lin Ming's body. In a flash, a layer of faint flames condensed into a sphere, enveloping Lin Ming within. Seeing this scene, Reg was greatly shocked. He didn't even mention the essentials, but this kid already knew? Even when he was cultivating back then, it took him several days to condense into a sphere. Moreover, at that time, he didn't grasp the essentials. After suffering the backlash from the internal temperature of the fireball, his own hair was also a perfect piece of work from that time. He was bewildered for a long time. Only then did Reg understand why the principle would suddenly fill in a person. This Lin Ming's cultivation speed was absolutely a genius among geniuses. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that he was a monster. Regaining his composure, Reg coughed lightly and said, "Not bad, slightly interesting. It's just that you are lacking a little in mastery. Cultivate for half a month first before I teach you other spells. If there's anything you don't understand, you can ask me." Reg felt that he shouldn't be in a hurry to train his spells. For a talented person like Lin Ming, if he were to learn all kinds of spells in a short period of time, it would only cause his foundation to become unstable. He had to slowly experience the essence of all kinds of spells. "Yes, teacher." A moment later, Reg still turned around and left with a very serious expression. After Reg left, Lin Ming released the little snake from his storage bag. "Ling, come out quickly." After spending a few days together, Lin Ming realized that the little snake was extremely intelligent. So he named it Ling. Ling seemed to have not woken up, and it shook its head as it crawled out. After Lin Ming placed a bottle of magic power recovery potion for it, he opened the skill panel in his mind and pressed the plus sign for the fire-controlling spell 3 times. Ding, your fire-controlling spell proficiency has been increased. Current level is beginner, level 2. Ding, your fire-controlling spell proficiency has been increased. Current level is master, level 3. Ding, your fire-controlling spell proficiency has been increased. Current level is master, level 4. The reason why he had leveled up only 1 level earlier was because Lin Ming did not want to expose too much in front of his teacher. Soon, Lin Ming began to perform. This time, the fireballs around him became more and more dazzling. Like a new sun, Lin Ming also felt that the fire-controlling spell could at least resist the close-range attack of a Tier 4 warrior. Phew. Taking a deep breath, the magic consumption in Lin Ming's was also very large. Then he sat beside Ling and took a bottle of magic power recovery potion. At the moment when his magic power recovered, Lin Ming was stunned. He stared at Ling in surprise. He saw Ling's green body turned red, and a wisp of smoke rose from the corner of its mouth. A scorching flame spewed out from its mouth. In the next moment, it was suddenly peeing. Although it was peeing, Lin Ming was extremely happy. My god, you can actually spew fire. Hearing Lin Ming's words, Ling became weak as it gently rubbed against Lin Ming's body. Then, it stared at the magic power recovery potion with eager eyes. Lin Ming took out a bottle very happily. However, he didn't know that what Ling did just now was purely to swindle the magic power recovery potion. In fact, the power in its body was very turbid. Green Magic Academy, Fire Element Department Office. The always serious Reg had a smile on his lips today. What happy event happened that made Reg smile? Looks like it's not simple. Yeah, I haven't seen Teacher Reg smile in a year. Tell me about that. I remember the last time I saw Reg smile was when he got married. Reg, are you getting married again? The teachers were teased with doubts. You know Lin Ming, right? Reg became serious and said. The other teachers also nodded. They also knew that Reg was now Lin Ming's tutor. That kid is really one in a million genius. I only demonstrated the fire-controlling spell once, and he learned it without any backlash. I didn't expect that I, Reg, would meet such a good student. Hearing that, all the teachers looked at Reg in disbelief. They were very surprised. They had all practiced the fire-controlling spell before. Although it wasn't a high-tier spell, the control of magic power needed to be very meticulous. When they practiced it, they had all suffered a slight backlash. Reg, is what you said true? Of course. Oh my god, it seems that our school has really produced a genius. And he is a student of our fire element. We must pay more attention to Lin Ming. We can't let such a genius be destroyed by Reg's hands. If anyone tries to snatch my student, don't blame me for turning hostile. The entire office was in an uproar. Early the next morning, Lin Ming changed into a set of athletic clothes. Carrying a leather bag, he headed to the agreed location with Ernest. Of course, Lin Ming brought Ling along, only that it coiled around Lin Ming's shoulder. At the entrance of the black market, when Lin Ming arrived, there were already 4 people standing by the side of a carriage. There was a woman with a graceful figure, and 3 burly men. Lin Ming was very familiar with the woman. It was Ernest Lin, but Lin Ming had never seen the other 3 people. He had never even heard Ernest mention them. Seeing Lin Ming walking over from afar, the men were somewhat disdainful. Their original plan was to hunt the Tier 6 magical beasts, but Ernest had changed to hunt 2 Tier 5 magical beasts. They knew that it was all because of Lin Ming. Boss, I can't figure it out. Isn't he just a Tier 2 mage? Why do you take him so seriously? That's right. How many Tier 3 and Tier 4 mages want to join us? Rejecting all of them and taking in a Tier 2 mage? There was a hint of complaint in their words. Ernest was not angry. She could understand the feelings of her teammates. She smiled faintly and said, "You'll know when you see his talent." Soon, they began to head to the mountain range of magical beasts. Along the way, the few people in the carriage held their breath and did not say anything. Lin Ming was the same. The road to the mountain range of magical beasts was very far. Even though they were on the road for the entire day, they had only traveled half of the way. Night fell. Ernest and the others became vigilant. Suddenly, a piercing sound rang out. Whoosh! The next moment, Ernest's hand gripped tightly onto a sharp arrow. The arrow was only 2 centimeters away from Lin Ming's forehead. Move! Ernest's gaze became extremely fierce. She turned into a blur and disappeared from the carriage. The next second, the sound of a fierce horse's roar rang out. The entire carriage suddenly leaned forward. Damn it, the horse was actually killed. The 2 Tier 5 warriors who were still in the carriage cursed at the same time. They knew that they would have to walk the rest of the way. Stay here, don't leave without our orders. After making arrangements to Lin Ming, the 2 of them picked up their weapons and rushed out. In an instant, outside the carriage, there was an uproar. Lin Ming could vaguely tell that it was the so-called mountain bandits robbing the road. Thinking of the strength of Ernest and the others, they should be able to easily take care of it. He stopped in the carriage and didn't go out. Under the moonlight, waves of sword lights and sword shadows mixed with miserable screams. When Lin Ming heard the unfamiliar screams, he knew that it should be the mountain bandits. But soon, the miserable screams disappeared. What followed was the sound of even more powerful weapons colliding. Lin Ming was a little worried and hurriedly got out of the carriage. He saw dozens of people surrounding Ernest and the others. They were dressed in uniform, and even the weapons in their hands were uniform. And their current position was like some kind of formation. Lin Ming, quickly escape. These people came prepared, Ernestine hurriedly shouted, and then they fought again. Although these enemies weren't very strong, and the strongest was only a tier 5 warrior, their formation was very strange. It made Ernest feel a trace of fear. Moreover, Ernest, who had been through hundreds of battles, was very sure that if this continued, the person who would die would only be herself. As soon as she finished her sentence, the pitch-black night suddenly seemed to have entered the day. This scene attracted everyone's attention. 18 firewheels appeared in the sky, like a newborn sun, shining brightly. Mage, hurry up and kill him, the leader of the enemy shouted with all his might. His heart filled with shock. The information they had received did not reveal the existence of a mage. Ding, your firewheel blade technique proficiency has increased. Your current level is Mastery, level 5. Just as several armed men charged at Lin Ming, the number of firewheel blades in the air had increased to 36. Lin Ming's eyes were blurred. He was already operating at an overload. With the last bit of strength in his body, he shouted loudly. Firewheel blade technique, kill. As he finished his words, 36 firewheels in the air flashed suddenly towards the several people sprinting and wanting to attack Lin Ming. Boom. With a few loud bangs, the bodies of the men darkened. Some were blown limb from limb. The next moment, the 36 firewheels did not rest. It went into the crowd. Boom, boom, boom. After a few sounds, the so-called array disappeared in an instant. Ernest and her teammates also took this opportunity to counterattack. For a moment, flesh and blood splattered in the firelight. Several heads, dead as eyes wide open, rolling on the field. One moment, and it's on fire. The shrill cry was ceaseless in the ear. However, Lin Ming, who was taking the magic power recovery potion, felt very excited. Whoosh! A purple arrow flew out and launched a sneak attack at the moment. Lin Ming is consuming the magic power recovery potion. Lin Ming, danger! Ernest shouted loudly and rapidly approached the crowd like a phantom. She was ready to save Lin Ming, but it was too late. There was no chance at all. The arrow was only one step away from Lin Ming. Lin Ming's body trembled. The magic power in his body had not recovered yet, so he tried his best to conjure a fire-controlling spell. But because the magic power was thin, the fire-controlling spell was only a thin layer of gas. There was no resistance at all. At this moment, time seemed to have stopped. Lin Ming stared at the sharp arrow that was near his glabella, and his breathing stopped abruptly. At this critical moment, a green afterimage flashed in front of Lin Ming. Immediately, a scorching flame appeared, and the arrow disappeared into the flame. Only a cloud of dust hit Lin Ming's face. Ling! Lin Ming shouted excitedly. Then he caught Ling, who had fallen from the sky, with both hands. When he saw that Ling was fine, Lin Ming heaved a sigh of relief, but his eyes became cold. Ernest, who had pulled out a sharp blade from the enemy's neck, also heaved a sigh of relief. However, her speed became even faster. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Ghostly footsteps loitered among the crowd. Fire snake technique. Lin Ming also controlled the fire snake and began a merciless massacre. In just a moment, there were only 5 figures on the field. Besides Lin Ming, each of them was stained with a bloody smell. Their gazes were extremely cold, like devils that had walked out of hell. They looked at the corpses around them. When the tier 5 warrior named Colin saw that someone was still breathing, he did not hesitate to chop off the person's head, without leaving any chance of survival. There were no ripples in his eyes. Indeed, in this world where the strong preyed on the weak, being soft-hearted to the enemy was undoubtedly cruel to oneself. If you want to survive, you have to become strong and cold-blooded. Kid, you're very strong. I underestimated you earlier. Under the quiet moonlight, Colin put away the knife in his hand and gave Lin Ming a thumbs up. His entire body was stained with blood, only revealing a row of big white teeth. Instantly, it caused a few people to laugh wildly. but they were very surprised in their hearts. The 36 fire wheel blades that Lin Ming had just unleashed shocked them beyond words. A tier 2 mage, he was actually able to cast such a terrifying move. It had even surpassed a tier 4 magic. More importantly, the young Lin Ming did not panic at all when his life was hanging by a thread. This not only shocked the few of them, it also made Colin and the others begin to admire this young mage from the bottom of their hearts. Ernest was even more shocked. Every time she met Lin Ming, he would change and become even stronger. And this time, the strength that Lin Ming displayed. Even as a tier 6 assassin, Ernest felt a sense of danger. A moment later, the few of them set up a tent by the lake. After washing off the blood stains on their bodies, they sat around the bonfire with their legs crossed. Ernest's red lips moved slightly, and her eyes contained a trace of apology. Those people are here to kill me today. Everyone looked over with bewildered gazes. Ernest began to tell her story. She was originally from Calais Dukedom, the daughter of the Duke. Because of the hatred of her family, she offended the important figures in the upper echelons, and the entire family was tortured and killed. She was the only one who managed to survive. However, the people in the upper echelons did not let her off, and placed a bounty of hundreds of thousands of gold coins on her head. The people who came today were precisely for her head. After telling everything, Ernest also became relieved. Her eyes were no longer as cold as before. She smiled faintly and said, "If you want to leave, I won't blame you." She had wanted to take revenge. However, after experiencing today's life and death battle, she knew that her existence would only bring danger to others. Most importantly, she didn't want Lin Ming to bear this danger for her. "Boss, after following you for so many years, do you think that Colin, am someone who knows when to retreat? I will only become braver as I fight." After Colin heard the story, he did not hesitate at all. He tore at the roasted meat and said indifferently. The other two people also echoed. They had followed Ernest for many years. In fact, they had long sensed that her identity involved many large factions. Ernest had done them a favor, and they were definitely not ungrateful people. Hearing their answers, Ernest was very touched. At this moment, Lin Ming asked calmly, "What is the name of the person who wants to kill you?" "Arthur Randolph." When this name was mentioned, Ernest's eyes were full of anger. "When the time is right, kill him," Lin Ming said lightly. He knew that the person who could force Ernest to such a degree was not simple. However, Lin Ming also deeply appreciated the kindness Ernest had shown him. He was not someone who would not repay kindness. Hearing this, Ernest was very touched in her heart, but she definitely did not want to see Lin Ming take the risk for her. "Lin Ming, thank you, but Arthur Randolph is very powerful. He is a tier 9 mage." Colin and the others could not help but tremble. A tier 9 mage wasn't someone they could kill. They probably wouldn't be able to touch him for the rest of their lives. "So what if he's a tier 9 mage? After I become a Sage Realm mage, wouldn't it be easy to kill him?" Lin Ming's eyes were calm. After he met a Sage Realm mage, he had already made up his mind that one day he would become a Sage Realm mage. If these words were spoken by another mage, Colin and the others would definitely look at him with disdain. A Sage Realm mage was a supreme existence. His power and position was greater than that of the dukedom's king. It was the goal of countless mages. To truly become a Sage Realm mage was nothing more than a wave in the ocean. Lin Ming's words, however, it made Colin and the others' hearts tremble. It was as if they had already seen Lin Ming becoming a Sage Realm mage. That's right, after witnessing Lin Ming's strength and terrifying talent, they firmly believed that the man in front of them would one day become a Sage Realm mage. The next day, after buying a carriage, they set off again. However, the journey was not as lifeless as it was yesterday. Colin and the others were like little fanboys, listening to Ernest narrating Lin Ming's deeds. Suddenly, the carriage exploded in shock. "What? Lin Ming was still a tier 1 mage a month ago. Last night, the strength he displayed even scared me. And he was only a tier 2 mage. Lin Ming, you're probably a monster." Half a day later, they arrived at the edge of the mountain range of magical beasts. The mountain range of magical beasts was vast and massive. There were all kinds of strange flowers and plants growing inside, and the dense giant trees blocked out even the sun. All kinds of thorns and vines grew wantonly, crisscrossing and disorderly, like a blockade line, dividing the mountain range from the world outside. From time to time, The howling of wolves and tigers could be heard. This made it even more mysterious and terrifying. This is the mountain range of magical beasts? Looking at the endless green mountains, Lin Ming was slightly shocked. And an inexplicable sense of awe rose in his heart. After you enter, please be careful. Although it is located in the periphery of the mountain range of magical beasts, many of the thorny vines have lethal toxins. If you get accidentally poisoned, it will be very difficult to remove the toxin. And you might even lose your life. Colin was packing up his equipment while exhorting Lin Ming. He had entered the mountain range of magical beasts several times. And he was very experienced, but every time he entered, he would be very vigilant. And never daring to take entering the range lightly. Lin Ming listened thoughtfully, gazing into the depths of the forest. After Ernest packed up her equipment, she patted Lin Ming's shoulder. You have to be more careful of the magical beasts within. There are many magical beasts that are very good at concealing themselves. As she said that, she pointed to a tree not far away. Lin Ming followed her gaze and saw a long brown-gray snake, coiled around the tree like a branch of a giant tree. If one did not look closely, one would not be able to tell that it was there. The mountain range of magical beasts was 10,000 miles long, and its width reached an astonishing 1,000 miles at several points. At the edge of the mountain range were some low-level magical beasts. If one walked a few hundred miles into the depths, they would be able to see all kinds of high-level magical beasts. In fact, in the deepest parts of the mountain range, saint-level magical beasts would often appear. I hope that we won't encounter any beast hordes, much less saint-level magical beasts. Colin seemed to be praying as he clasped his hands together and bowed towards the depths of the mountain range of magical beasts. Very soon, everyone packed up and entered the mountain range. Along the way, everyone surrounded Lin Ming, who had just entered the mountain range of magical beasts for the first time. On one hand, it was to protect his safety. On the other hand, it was also for the sake of speed. According to the map, we should be able to reach our station in another half an hour, Colin said as he looked at the map in his hand. Just as the group was about to increase their speed, Lin Ming stopped in his tracks, and his face darkened. The smell of human blood? After entering this area, little Ling became a little abnormal. She kept rubbing her body against Lin Ming, which made him notice that there was a faint smell of human blood in the air. Quickly, they jumped over a few bushes and saw a creepy scene. 5 men were lying on the ground in a mess. There was a horrifying wound on each of their necks, and one could vaguely see their cervical vertebrae. The loss of blood even made their bodies shrivel, judging from their clothes and appearance. The 4 burly men were warriors, and the weaker woman was a mage. Did they die at the hands of their comrades? Lin Ming guessed, and the expressions of those people were filled with shock and disbelief. Hearing Lin Ming's words, Ernest and the others could not help but look over in surprise. Not only did Lin Ming find this place strange, he even guessed the cause of their deaths. Was this really their first time coming to the magical beast forest? They were all definitely old detectives. That's right. There are often such scenes of killing each other in the mountain range of magical beasts. Therefore, we must not only be careful of the attacks of the magical beasts, but also the humans around us. Of course, most of them are part of a temporary team, Ernest said seriously, and a hint of confidence appeared on her face. She felt that these people around her were all people who had gone through life and death together. They had gone through many life and death trials, so she could completely trust them with her back. The greed of human nature. Lin Ming sighed. He guessed that these people must be fighting for a magical beast spirit nucleus. The magical beast spirit nucleus was extremely valuable. After obtaining it, they naturally didn't want to share it equally with others, so they might as well kill it. Listening to Lin Ming's sigh, Colin and the others looked at Lin Ming in disbelief. They always felt that Lin Ming wasn't like a 17 or 18-year-old child, but more like an experienced old man. It was obvious. That's right, those people were fighting for benefits. They did not hesitate to kill their partners, who had gone through life and death together. Just as Lin Ming had said, the greed of human nature. Thinking of this, Colin could not help but ask, Lin Ming, is this really your first time coming to the mountain range of magical beasts? Why do you see so clearly? Jeff and Hulk, who were beside him, also looked at Lin Ming with puzzlement. Even a 10-year-old child knows. After Lin Ming finished speaking, he followed Ernest's footsteps and advanced into the depths of the forest. The three people who were left behind had stunned expressions on their faces. The three of them looked at each other, and their expressions were filled with indescribable bitterness. What did it mean that a 10-year-old child knew? They had paid a great price in order to understand the evilness of human nature step by step. It was precisely because of this that they were extremely puzzled as to why Lin Ming could see so clearly at such a young age. Lin Ming indeed has the potential to become a saint, Colin sighed. From the day-to-day interactions, he admired Lin Ming even more in his heart, not only because of his frightening strength, but also his admirable temperament. The three of them sighed for a long time before starting to catch up. They had to arrive at the encampment at night. The next day, the few of them woke up in their encampment. This encampment was built a long time ago. When they first entered the mountain range, it was very hidden. The surroundings were filled with all kinds of spirit herbs that they had bought. These spirit herbs could hide the scent of humans and also disperse all kinds of magical beasts. Colin stretched his muscles. His eyes were very tired. I'll lie down for a while. You guys find something to eat first. He was the person in charge of the lookout previously. Although the encampment was already very safe, no one dared to be careless in the mountain range of magical beasts. Suddenly, the entire ground began to tremble. The frequency of tremble was very high, and the gravel on the ground was constantly surging. Colin, who was originally tired, suddenly became extremely spirited. He exerted force with his legs and jumped back and forth on the treetops, landing on the treetops that were dozens of meters tall. The next second, he shouted in shock, "Quickly pack your things and run, it's a beast tide." A beast tide? It was the large-scale migration of magical beasts in the mountain range. Many times, it was because of the change of seasons that they had to rush to the next habitat. Another reason was that when they encountered an attack that they could not resist, they would flee in a panic. In their panic, they would attack indiscriminately. This situation was extremely dangerous. Based on the tremors on the ground, Lin Ming could roughly guess that this situation belonged to the latter. Just as everyone was packing their things, Colin jumped down from the tree, his expression extremely shocked. "Don't pack your things. It's the roaming rhinoceroses that are fleeing for their lives first." Hearing Colin's words, everyone could not help but be shocked. The roaming rhinoceroses were magical beasts that lived in groups. Their bodies were extremely strong and weighed tens of tons. They were like walking fortresses. Most of them were Tier 4 magical beasts. The strong ones in the clan can even reach Tier 5. Their personalities were extremely violent. Ernest and the others had cold expressions on their faces. They did not have the time to think about it. They hurriedly pulled Lin Ming up and began to run. In the next moment, the towering tree that was 100 meters away from them began to hit the ground along with a deafening crash. Bang, bang. Each explosion made everyone's hearts tighten. Hundreds of hunting rhinoceroses appeared behind them like blockhouses. And they were extremely fast. They charged and rampaged. Even boulders that were bigger than them would turn into dust upon impact. "Run to the sides," Ernest shouted. As a Tier 6 assassin, she could crush the hunting rhinoceroses. However, against such a powerful beast tide, she did not have any confidence in doing so. Everyone looked at each other and started to move to the left, preparing to avoid the beast tide. "FCK, why is there still a group of hunting rhinoceroses following us?" Colin turned around and cursed. Although most of the hunting rhinoceroses charged forward, there were still dozens of them, following closely behind Lin Ming and the others. Their aura was extremely fierce. They should be treating us as enemies. We can't get rid of them, so we have to find an opportunity to kill them. Ernest frowned and looked around to find a suitable place to counterattack. The combination of dozens of hunting rhinoceroses was not to be underestimated. Ernest was even prepared to pay the price. "Why are you so unlucky to encounter a beast horde before you even take action? It's all because of your jinx." That's right. You must pray when you come in." Colin and the others argued, but they drew their weapons one after another, ready to find an opportunity to attack. Soon, the few of them escaped to a rocky forest. Among them, rocks were strewn across the ground. Huge rocks rose up from the ground like trees. Everyone, get ready for battle, Ernest shouted, pulling Lin Ming with her and leaping up to an extremely high rock. Meanwhile, Colin and the others jumped into the rubble. The rhinoceroses behind them did not hesitate and charged towards the stone forest. Bang, bang. Instantly, the deafening sounds of collision rang out continuously. The rubble was flying all over the place. The scene was extremely chaotic. Colin and the others hid one after another, waiting for an opportunity to attack. Stay here, don't go down, Ernest said to Lin Ming. Although mages had strong attacking power, their physical attributes could not be compared to that of other professions. A level 5 warrior like Colin would only be slightly injured if he took the attack of the rhinoceros head-on. If a level 2 mage was touched by the rhinoceros, he would be either dead or heavily injured. He might even be crushed by the rhinoceros horns. Then, Ernest suddenly jumped and rushed down. 2 silver daggers appeared in her hands, and her body was very agile. She jumped back and forth on the bodies of the 2 rhinoceroses. The lights of the blades and the shadows of the swords intersected. The daggers in her hands slashed across the armor like skin of the rhinoceroses, and only flames could be seen. Ernest was shocked. She knew that the defense of the rhinoceros was extremely high, but she had never thought that even as a tier 6 assassin, she was not able to penetrate it. Damn it, the corners of Ernest's eyes creased slightly, and her body moved swiftly. Her entire body was like an arrow that had been shot from a bow. Charging forward, Shua, the dagger stabbed straight into the neck of a rhinoceros. Immediately, fresh blood spurted out. But the blood, it was green. Ernest's body was extremely agile. She leapt onto the back of the rhinoceros. That was spewing out green blood. How are the few of you doing? Hearing Ernest's words, the others cried out in pain. Boss, we can't move at all. This rhinoceros's defense is really too strong. That's really the case. I slashed them several times, but my slashes only left a few shallow scars. My sword is almost crippled. Colin and the others cried out bitterly. After entering the stone forest, although it wasn't as dangerous as before, the current situation wasn't optimistic at all. If this continued, they would only be left with a dead end. Ernest frowned, and her speed increased once again. She couldn't think of any way to deal with this kind of magical beast. Even fire can't hurt them? Lin Ming frowned, his eyes full of surprise. Just now, he had used the fire snake spell to attack a hunting rhino. Although the hunting rhino was forced to retreat after being burned, it wasn't actually injured. Looking at the few people in the bitter battle, Lin Ming thought of the heart-rotting pill that he had refined. Although he wasn't completely confident at this moment, being able to play a little bit of a role in the battle was also extremely useful. Very quickly, Lin Ming took out dozens of pills. A strange fragrance wafted out. The wild hunting rhinoceroses on the field were suddenly startled, and their gazes were all focused on Lin Ming. Roar, they growled in a low voice, and looked greedily at Lin Ming. Ernest and the others had no idea what was going on. Seeing that these magical beasts' eyes were focused on Lin Ming, the few of them began to move closer to Lin Ming. Colin was even more furious. The muscles in his arms suddenly expanded, and he held the huge knife tightly, and stabbed at the back of the wild rhinoceroses. That's right, it was a stab. Damn it, all of you, come at me. The wild rhinoceroses that were stabbed instantly flew into a rage. Its body, which was like a fortress, suddenly made a 180-degree turn the moment it jumped up. Its eyes immediately became bloodshot, as if it was about to bleed. After letting out an angry roar, it suddenly charged at Colin. Colin was also stunned. He did not expect this attack to be so powerful. He hurriedly ran away. Although he was a level 5 warrior, he did not dare to actually fight a level 4 rhinoceros face to face. Not to mention a safari rhinoceros that had been angered by him. Although he was in danger, 3 black lines appeared on Lin Ming's forehead when he saw this scene. I'm fine, lure them over. Lin Ming naturally knew that these safari rhinoceros were attracted by the medicinal fragrance in their hands. After all, this was one of the main characteristics of the heart-rotting pill. Boss, save me. Boss, save me. Colin looked behind him as the hunting rhinoceroses chased him relentlessly. Ernest did not have that kind of free time. Other than the hunting rhinoceroses chasing Colin, the rest began to gather around Lin Ming. Although she did not understand what Lin Ming was trying to do, she was very confident in her heart that Lin Ming definitely had a way. Right now, what she needed to do was to protect Lin Ming. As for Colin, there would not be any problems for him for a while. Very soon, several hunting rhinoceroses charged towards the huge rock where Lin Ming was. Lin Ming used the fire-controlling spell to surround his entire body. Fiery red flames fluttered around him. He wasn't sure whether the effects of the heart-rotting pills were strong or not. After all, he had never actually used it after refining it. Under the worried gazes of Ernest and the others, Lin Ming threw out several pills. The next moment, a fire snake burst out from Lin Ming's hand, and in an instant, the fire snake began to split. The spit turned into small agile fire snakes. Each small fire snake picked up a pill and rushed into the nose of the hunting rhinoceros. In an instant, the hunting rhinoceros began to riot. At this moment, Lin Ming had used up a lot of magic power, and the fireballs around his body became dim. Under the impact of the hunting rhinoceros, the huge rock under his feet was also on the verge of collapsing. Seeing this, Ernest quickly jumped over, picked Lin Ming up, and jumped to the side of the other two. Looking at the exposed hunting rhinoceros, Ernest frowned. Protect Lin Ming well. She didn't know what method Lin Ming had used. Now, it seemed that method didn't work at all. In fact, she had already thought of this scene. Even as a Tier 6 assassin, she was helpless, let alone a Tier 2 mage like Lin Ming. But just as she was about to make her move, a series of explosions rang out, and she was stunned. She saw that the sharp body of the hunting rhinoceros swayed, and white foam appeared at the corner of its mouth. One after another, they began to fall. 1, 2, 3. Every time a safari rhinoceros fell, Ernestine's heart would shake. Could it be Lin Ming's method? How could it be? The invulnerable safari rhino actually fell just like this? Ernestine was extremely shocked and looked at Lin Ming. She saw a smile on Lin Ming's face. Hulk and Jeff were even more excited. Lin Ming, what did you do just now? This walking fortress actually collapsed without being attacked? What the hell is going on? Oh my god, I thought I was going to die here today. The two of them hugged Lin Ming excitedly and shouted loudly. Just as Lin Ming was about to explain, a familiar, bitter cry sounded again. Boss, save me. Colin was running non-stop, and so did the rhinoceros behind him. When they saw several hunting rhinoceroses lying weakly on the ground, the hunting rhinoceroses that were madly chasing Colin suddenly stopped in their tracks and looked at their companions in a daze. Their blood-red pupils suddenly contracted and turned extremely pale. What's going on? Colin's facial muscles stiffened as he asked in disbelief. Meanwhile, the hunting rhinoceros behind him suddenly came back to its senses and began to flee. Ernest did not have the time to explain and hurriedly urged, "Don't let them escape." Tier 4 magical beasts more or less had spiritual consciousness. Once they ran back to the pack, they would inform them of the disappearances of their comrades. Then, they would be in danger again. Very soon, Colin and the other two chased after it. The three of them surrounded the rhinoceros, and in a flash, the rhinoceros died under their blades. After losing its life, the rhinoceros skin was no longer as tough as before. Colin also took out his spiritual core conveniently, looking at the rest of the rhinoceros that had collapsed on the ground. He asked in surprise, "How did you do it?" "Us?" Hulk and Jeff revealed an expression of, "You really think too highly of us," and simultaneously pointed at Lin Ming, who was still recovering his magic power. What, Lin Ming again? Colin was extremely shocked. It was not that he had underestimated Lin Ming. This was completely beyond his understanding. A Tier 2 mage? Letting several Tier 4 magic beasts lie down tamely without any fighting. Other than the word, shocking. There were probably no other words to describe it. Then there was Lin Ming. What he had just consumed was not a mana recovery potion. It was a mana enhancement potion. During this period of training, he felt that the mana in his body had reached the Tier 2 bottleneck, and he was about to break through to Tier 3. Taking this opportunity, he took the mana enhancement potion that Ernest had prepared for him. Lin Ming felt that his limbs and bones were filled with mana. In his consciousness, the magic elements in his spiritual sea were flickering non-stop. They were expanding at a slow speed. A moment later, Lin Ming felt that the magic power in his body was getting denser and denser. Compared to before, it was several times more abundant. Is this the feeling of a third-rank mage? Lin Ming muttered, and exhaled a mouthful of turbid air. His tightly furrowed brows relaxed. His entire body appeared extremely comfortable. At the side, Ernest and the others were guarding Lin Ming. They all stared at him with their mouths agape. A third-rank mage? They had always thought that Lin Ming was recovering his magic power. They didn't expect him to break through so quickly. According to Ernest, Lin Ming had just broken through to the second rank half a month ago. An ordinary mage would need years of hard training to break through to the first rank. Lin Ming really has the potential to be a saint, Colin said in surprise. He even had the urge to hug Lin Ming. Hawk and Lin Ming nodded their heads. They agreed with what Colin said. Ernest was also very surprised. It seemed that ever since she knew Lin Ming, she had been living in surprise. Let's move off as soon as possible, Lin Ming said to the stunned people. He had also experienced the danger in the mountain range of magical beasts. The heart-rotting pill was almost used up just now. He did not want to encounter another beast tide. Even if he had reached the level of a tier 3 mage, he was still not confident. Hearing that, the few of them nodded repeatedly. Colin had a look of admiration on his face, even when he had so much experience fighting. After experiencing the battle just now, his heart was still uneasy. Moreover, this was Lin Ming's first time entering the mountain range. Not only did he experience the beast tide, but he had also broken through to become a tier 3 mage. He was neither arrogant nor impatient, yet he could still be so calm. Hulk and Jeff also looked at Lin Ming with a look of admiration. Initially, when they first met, none of them had thought highly of Lin Ming. After experiencing so much, their attitude towards Lin Ming had changed drastically. Ernest agreed. Lin Ming is right. We need to find the whereabouts of the 2 fire wolves as soon as possible. Soon, the few of them started to move. Before they came, they had done a lot of research on the fire wolves. They had found the place where they frequented, the Valley of Fire. This place is even more stunning than the rumors said. Looking at the Valley of Fire, Colin was amazed. In the valley, all kinds of flowers and plants were dyed red like blood. Even the soil was red. Lin Ming was also amazed by the scene in front of him. However, he wasn't admiring the beautiful scene like Colin was. Instead, he looked around vigilantly, looking for traces of fire wolves. During the journey, Lin Ming learned that the hunting of the fire wolf was specially arranged by Ernest. It was to temper Lin Ming, and the fire wolf's magic core belonged to the fire element, which was very suitable for Lin Ming's cultivation. Lin Ming was surprised and grateful. It has appeared. Ernest pointed at a cave and reminded. Everyone's eyes focused on it. They saw 2 fire wolves covered in red, their long fur standing up like fireworks, leisurely coming out of the cave with their heads lowered. As they walked, they licked each other's fur. It was obvious that the 2 wolves were each other's companions. Then, one of the wolves howled to the sky. It was as if it was saying goodbye. They didn't know that they were in danger. The male wolf is going out to hunt. Be careful and split up. Ernest made the arrangements and disappeared from everyone's side at an extremely fast speed. The few of them had already made the arrangements. Ernest went hunting for the male wolf, while the others hunted the female wolf. Lin Ming and the others also jumped down. They surrounded the female wolf that was about to enter the cave at an extremely fast speed. The 3 of them held their weapons and stared at the female wolf. Lin Ming stood behind the 3 of them. A flame flashed in his hand and he was ready to launch an attack. After Colin's furious roar, the attack began. The 3 of them fought with the raging fire wolf and quickly gained the upper hand. The fire wolf was forced to retreat repeatedly. However, even though the fire wolf was injured, it would never turn around and enter the cave. Logically speaking, after entering the cave, whether it was to escape or to continue fighting, it would gain a huge advantage. Could it be that she's protecting the cub? Lin Ming stared at the injured female wolf and saw the clues. Hearing Lin Ming's words, Colin and the others did not show any mercy and began to attack even faster. Although after hearing about the cub, there was a ripple in their hearts, but as experienced people, they immediately threw this to the back of their minds. The lesson of blood made them understand that pity for the enemy was nothing more than being cruel to themselves. Just as Colin was preparing to kill the wolf with one strike, Lin Ming shouted loudly, "Retreat quickly." One of them was stunned and looked at Lin Ming in confusion. Then, he began to retreat. The next moment, the body of the fire wolf became extremely hot. Fresh blood seeped out from its fur. In an instant, a powerful energy fireball was flying out. Bang! Even though Colin and the others were dozens of meters Away from each other, they couldn't help but stagger. At this moment, they finally understood Lin Ming's words. That fire wolf had actually chosen to burn its own blood essence to fight. The explosion just now was caused by the burning of its blood essence. Damn it. If it wasn't for Lin Ming's timely reminder, we might have been burned into charcoal. Hulk held the steel knife with both hands and stabbed it into the ground to stabilize his body as he sighed. After that, his gaze looked forward. The fire wolf's entire body was burning with flames, and its fangs had increased in size by several times. It was just like a demon that had walked out of hell. If this continues like this, it won't be able to last for too long. Everyone, be careful and avoid its attacks, Lin Ming warned, and several fiery flames immediately appeared in his hands. He attacked the fire wolf. The latter did not dare to show any weakness. Several fireballs shot out from its mouth towards Lin Ming. Lin Ming is in danger. Quickly escape. Colin could feel that the fire wolf's attack was extremely powerful. He ran wildly towards Lin Ming in an attempt to save him. Fire wheel blade technique. Lin Ming knew that with his speed, there was no way he could dodge it. He frowned slightly. Suddenly, 36 fire wheels shot out from his hands, meeting the attack head-on. Bang, bang, several deafening explosions rang out. Waves of energy attacks exploded when they came into contact. As a Tier 5 warrior, Colin could not even stabilize his body under the impact of the energy attacks. He looked at the flames worriedly. In a flash, the flames that filled the sky disappeared. The body of the fire wolf was only left with a skeleton and a magic core that was emitting red light. And Lin Ming, his entire body was wrapped in a fire-controlling spell as he panted heavily. Just now, he had used all his strength to release 2 fire wheel blades. Coupled with the fire-controlling spell, he had used up a lot of his energy. The mana that he had recovered earlier was almost completely exhausted. The fire-controlling spell that surrounded him also gradually disappeared. Little Ling held a bottle of mana recovery potion in her mouth and darted out of the storage bag. Lin Ming's eyes were slightly dazed. He only felt a force supporting him from behind, and then he couldn't feel anything. Lin Ming, Lin Ming. Ernest held Lin Ming's hand and anxiously dripped the mana recovery potion into his mouth. She only heaved a sigh of relief when she felt that Lin Ming had only fainted because he had used up too much mana. What happened to you guys? Didn't I ask you guys to protect Lin Ming? Ernest looked at Colin and the others angrily. Boss, it all happened so suddenly just now. Lin Ming killed the fire wolf that was burning its blood essence by himself. Colin nervously observed Lin Ming and explained, "What? The fire wolf that was burning its blood essence?" Ernest was shocked. When she was fighting the fire wolf just now, she had used a sneak attack to seriously injure it, and was only able to kill it after a few skirmishes. Even as a Tier 6 assassin, it was extremely difficult for him to fight the wolf. Lin Ming had actually single-handedly killed a wolf that was burning its blood essence? Lin Ming is only a Tier 3 mage. He was 3 tiers higher. Fortunately, Lin Ming wasn't injured. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to face anyone for the rest of my life. Seeing that Lin Ming wasn't injured, Colin heaved a sigh of relief in his heart. You still have the nerve to say that? Ernest glanced at Colin and the others angrily. They all smiled unkindly. Then, he sighed. I feel that Lin Ming really doesn't seem like a mortal. I think that he's a god. Indeed, every time he makes a move, he'll give me a huge shock. I've already said it before. Lin Ming has the potential to be a saint. Lin Ming woke up after hearing a few low moans. He looked at a few red furry cubs and fell asleep beside him. This is? Hearing Lin Ming's words, Colin rushed in from outside the carriage with a piece of barbecue in his hand. You've been unconscious for 2 days. Hurry up and eat. Lin Ming did not stand on ceremony either. He picked up the roasted meat and started eating. He even tore some pieces and handed them to the few young pups. From their appearances, one could tell that they were fire wolf pups. After eating for a while, Lin Ming asked in puzzlement, "Is there anyone else?" He could sense that there was no aura of Ernest and the others around him. Colin explained, "There's something urgent in the fighting arena. They've already rushed back. Boss asked me to send you back to school." Lin Ming nodded thoughtfully. Seeing Lin Ming caressing the wolf cub, Colin smiled and said, "If you like it, you can take one back." "Forget it, I can't even feed myself." As for the other matters, Lin Ming didn't ask much. At dusk, the carriage arrived at the school. After Colin left, Lin Ming walked into the school gate naturally. However, the surrounding students looked at Lin Ming strangely. Some of the students started whispering. Lin Ming is finally back. I wonder what he's done these past few days. Teacher Reg has been looking for him. Didn't you see Teacher Reg's furious look? I'm a little worried for Lin Ming. Almost all the teachers and students in the school knew about Lin Ming's disappearance. That was because Teacher Reg was loudly looking for Lin Ming every day. He even sent people to Lin Ming's hometown. But in the end, there was no sign of him. At this moment, in the fire department office, many teachers were preparing to get off work. Reg, who usually got off work the earliest, sat motionlessly in front of his desk. Say, Reg, you're usually not like this. I also didn't think that Lin Ming could make you worry so much. Maybe he went somewhere to cultivate himself. That's right, pack up and get off work. Several teachers saw Reg's appearance and tried to persuade him helplessly. Learning in the Magic Academy was very self-directed. Students could choose to go out and train themselves. There were even students who wouldn't return to the school for a year or so. Hearing the other teachers' persuasions, Reg turned a deaf ear. In his opinion, the other teachers hadn't seen Lin Ming's talent, so they naturally wouldn't understand his feelings. As a teacher, who wouldn't want to teach a student who would become famous in the future? If the student became a saint-level mage in the future, then he would have some face. Sigh, was my first day of teaching too cold for him? Or was the strength I displayed not strong enough? Reg muttered to himself, even doubting himself deeply. After all, according to what the other teachers had said, Lin Ming had chosen to train himself. On the other hand, wasn't it the other party who looked down on his teaching? At this moment, a student rushed in. Reg was suddenly shocked, his brows tightly knitted together as he prepared to teach him a few words. But in the next second, his brows relaxed. The student panted and said, Teacher Reg, Lin Ming is back. Lin Ming is back? On the other side, Lin Ming had just returned to the dormitory. He chatted with his roommates for a while. But suddenly, Lin Ming asked in surprise, What, Winnie dropped out of school? Mage answered stupidly. Brother, don't you know? Winnie dropped out of school 2 days ago. We saw with our own eyes that she was picked up by a few men in armor. Yes, there were several carriages. At that time, I seemed to have seen a few high-level magi. The few of them spoke one sentence after another. They recalled the great momentum at that time. Lin Ming's heart was slightly undulating. The sudden drop out of school must have been due to something big happening. Thinking about it carefully, Winnie's family background wasn't simple. According to Winnie, her grandfather was a Tier 8 mage. Thinking of this, Lin Ming let out a sigh of relief. Suddenly, the tightly shut dormitory door burst open. A bald man walked in. The moment he saw the bald man, Mage couldn't help but stand up. He was a little dumbfounded. Out of reflex, he shouted, Hello, Teacher Reg. Lin Ming shouted stiffly, Hello, Teacher Reg. He had just heard that Reg had been looking for him during this period of time, day and night, asking Mage and the others every day. Had even frightened them to the point of sequelae. At the mention of Reg's name, their gazes became a little fearful. Reg, who was originally aggressive, turned his gaze to Lin Ming and became gentle. Lin Ming, start class on time tomorrow morning. With that said, he calmly turned around and left, leaving behind the dumbfounded crowd. After a long time, Mage guessed, Big brother, do you think that he likes? Bah, is it because his daughter likes you that he values you so much? They had been racking their brains over this matter for the past few days. After thinking about it, this was the only reasonable reason. The other two looked at Lin Ming in the same way. His daughter? Lin Ming said in a daze, Big brother, don't you know his daughter? Her beauty is on par with Miss Winnie's. The next day, while the sky was still barely bright, Lin Ming arrived at the training ground. He wanted to come early and start training ahead of time. But he didn't expect that when Lin Ming arrived, Reg had already arrived. Teacher, good morning, Lin Ming called out in confusion. Reg turned around solemnly and looked at Lin Ming. Tell me, what have you been doing these past few days? He looked at Reg, who had a serious expression on his face. Lin Ming said earnestly, It was you who told me to train my fire controlling technique properly. So I found a place with no one around and trained by myself. Hearing Lin Ming's reply, Reg nodded solemnly. However, his heart was filled with ecstasy. He sighed to himself. Looks like Lin Ming didn't think that I was weak. But he secretly contacted me. This kid really has the potential to be a saint. Teacher? Looking at the dazed Reg, Lin Ming hissed. Reg came back to his senses and coughed lightly. Today, I'm going to teach you my ultimate move. Although this move isn't a high-level spell, if you cultivate it to perfection, it definitely won't lose to other fire-type spells. Reg bragged about how many experts he had killed with this move. Lin Ming also listened very seriously. Ever since he obtained the system, he had a deep understanding of magic. Just like the fireball spell, as long as he comprehended it to the peak, it could also become an incomparably powerful spell. My ultimate move is called the Fire Wave, Reg said very proudly. Then, he was ready to demonstrate it. But he suddenly stopped and looked at Lin Ming. First, let's have you cast the fire controlling spell. I'll see how your cultivation progress is. Although he wanted to give Lin Ming a strong medicine, Lin Ming deeply admired him. But he was very serious about teaching. If Lin Ming's fire controlling spell didn't satisfy him, he would never teach him Fire Wave. Lin Ming nodded. He muttered an incantation. Soon, a huge fireball wrapped around him. The outer area of the fireball was extremely hot. But Lin Ming, who was inside, couldn't feel any warmth. Looking at Lin Ming's fire controlling spell, Reg was extremely shocked. It had only been a week since he had taught Lin Ming. At that time, he could only condense a layer of weak aura, but now, he could actually use the fire controlling spell to such an extent? Reg even felt that Lin Ming's fire controlling spell was only slightly inferior to his. Genius, a monstrous genius. No, Reg knew very well that using the fire controlling spell to such an extent, the magic power of a tier 2 mage would not be able to support it. Could it be? Have you already become a tier 3 mage? Reg asked in shock. Lin Ming withdrew the fire-bending spell and nodded. I was lucky enough to advance a little. Lucky? How could there be such a thing as lucky enough to advance? The others might not know, but as a mage, how could Reg not know? Back then, it took him an entire year to advance from a tier 2 mage to a tier 3 mage. Moreover, in this 1 year, he woke up early and went to bed late every day. Then in order to achieve this feat. So, Lin Ming didn't just use a week to master the fire controlling spell. He even advanced to becoming a tier 3 mage? Calm down, calm down. You have to calm down, Reg said in his heart. He was afraid that he would act too flustered. Very soon, the two of them began to cultivate. From morning till night, they didn't rest at all. In fact, Lin Ming had already mastered the spell in the morning. But in order to act normal, he didn't level up in the system interface. Looking at Lin Ming, who was training hard, Reg nodded in satisfaction and said, Go back and rest early. This spell won't be mastered for a year or so. Back then, I also spent a year's time. Reg didn't dare to say this previously, for fear of losing face. As an excellent teacher, he still cared about his image. Seeing Reg leave, Lin Ming then turned his attention to the system interface. Ding, your fire wave proficiency has been increased. Current level is beginner, level 1. Ding, your fire wave proficiency has been increased. Current level is beginner, level 2. Ding, your fire wave proficiency has been increased. Current level is mastery, level 3. As a tier 3 magician, Lin Ming had the confidence to directly increase his proficiency by 3 levels. Phew, let's try it next. How powerful is it? Lin Ming began to mumble an incantation. Soon, the flames in his hand rolled away like waves. Then, they gathered into a wave of fire. It swept forward. It was very eye-catching in the night. What? Could it be that this kid has already mastered this spell? Not far away, Reg looked over in a daze. He originally wanted to see how long Lin Ming would take to master this. But this scene stirred up a storm in his heart. A storm so big that he couldn't calm down for a long time. The next day, Lin Ming heard some rumors in school. It seemed that a fierce battle had broken out in the black market, and that the entire power of the black market had suffered a blow. Thinking of Ernest's departure, Lin Ming felt that something was wrong. He wanted to ask for leave and go to the black market to take a look. But he was not allowed to go alone. In the end, Lin Ming was forced to take his teacher to the black market. You young fellow, why are you going to the black market? Although in the end, teacher Reg promised Lin Ming to let him go to the black market. But Lin Ming had to be accompanied by him before he could go. After all, Reg was very clear that a place like the black market was full of dangers. If something happened to Lin Ming in the black market, Wouldn't Reg regret it to death? Therefore, he had to accompany him. There's no time to explain now. Hearing Reg's question, Lin Ming no longer had the time to answer Reg's question. Instead, he simply responded to such a sentence. Then, Lin Ming kept running in the direction of the black market. He was afraid that something would happen to Ernest in the black market. Lin Ming was very fast, and Reg followed behind him, afraid that he would lose Lin Ming. In a short while, they arrived near the entrance of the black market. When Lin Ming was rushing towards the entrance of the black market, a burly man stood in front of him. "Who are you?" The burly man stood in front of the entrance, holding a huge axe in his hand, and the veins on his arms bulged as he shouted at Lin Ming. A Tier 4 berserker? Lin Ming had sharp eyes too. He could tell at a glance that this burly man was a Tier 4 berserker. Now, even the black market has to strictly control entry and exit? Lin Ming's eyes focused as he looked at the burly man in front of him and asked. After all, when he entered and exited the black market previously, he had never seen anyone guarding this place. And now, there was actually a Tier 4 berserker guarding the entrance. From this, it could be seen that something big must have happened in the black market. "Why are you going to the black market?" The burly man looked at Lin Ming and asked. But he did not pay any attention. With a glance, the huge axe suddenly slammed on the ground and went towards Lin Ming to ask. "I want to go in and look for Ernest Lin." In order to cause unnecessary trouble, Lin Ming decided to properly speak to the burly man in front of him. "Ha, just you? You know Ernest Lin? Where did this BRT come from?" Scram. When the burly man heard Lin Ming's words, he immediately let out a disdainful laugh and shouted at Lin Ming. At the same time, the pressure belonged to a berserker was instantly released. Together with the huge axe in his hand, it pressed down on Lin Ming. However, the pressure of a Tier 4 berserker was like a drizzle to Lin Ming now. There was no threat at all. Although that was what he said, Reg's expression still changed slightly. After all, Lin Ming was only a Tier 3 mage now. Although a Tier 4 berserker was not a big threat to them, as long as they were far enough away. However, mages abhorred close combat the most, especially people at the level of a Tier 4 berserker. This kind of threat was fatal. "Quick," Reg shouted, just as he was about to gather mana and use the fire-controlling spell to separate the Tier 4 berserker from Lin Ming. "If that's the case, then let's follow the rules of the black market." Lin Ming whispered and shouted at the burly man. Waves of magic power instantly surrounded Lin Ming. Fire snake spell. Just as Lin Ming finished his words, a dragon-shaped fire snake suddenly appeared beside him. Then, the fire snake let out a low roar and locked its eyes on the burly man in front of it. In just a moment, the fire snake quietly disappeared at the entrance of the black market. The originally arrogant burly man had disappeared at this moment, as if he had been melted by the high temperature of the fire snake. Only some powder-like things were left, floating in the black market that was filled with the smell of blood. After the fire snake disappeared, Lin Ming hurriedly rushed into the black market, running towards the direction of the fighting arena. Meanwhile, Teacher Reg stood rooted to the ground, looking a little confused. What he was confused about was not that Lin Ming's fire snake spell could have such great power. He was still shocked by Lin Ming's decisiveness in killing. Teacher Reg then asked himself, thinking that he could not be so decisive in killing. It seems that this kid must have experienced a lot, or else he would not be so decisive in killing. When Reg reacted, he suddenly remembered that he had come to the black market because of Lin Ming. But now, Lin Ming had completely disappeared in front of his eyes. The black market should have been in turmoil recently. I was too careless. Find Lin Ming, and bring him back no matter what. With that, Reg rushed into the black market, wanting to find Lin Ming immediately. Because Reg had been to the black market before, and he was clear about the rules. However, no one had ever guarded the entrance to the black market. With this conjecture, Teacher Reg was also clear that this black market might cause a bloodbath. However, before Reg could take a few steps, a few 3-star swordsmen and a few Tier 4 berserkers rushed towards Reg. "It's been a long time since I've fought. I should be able to have a good fight this time." Reg looked at the people surrounding him, stretched his muscles, and said calmly. In an instant, monstrous magic power surrounded Reg's body. At the same time, Lin Ming had already arrived outside the fighting arena. However, the current fighting arena seemed to be a little different from what Lin Ming had imagined. Previously, the fighting arena had been bustling with activities. Countless people were cheering and jumping about, even whistling non-stop. But now, it was extremely quiet, as if no one was there. Moreover, Lin Ming discovered that the main door of the fighting arena was tightly shut. Looks like Ernest isn't here. After Lin Ming looked around, there was no information. He was going to force his way into the arena to see if he could get some useful information from there. Wait, just as Lin Ming was about to conjure a fireball and break a wall in the arena, an old voice sounded in Lin Ming's ears. Where is Ernest now? Is she okay? That person was the old man who had followed Ernest Lin before. Lin Ming naturally knew him. He immediately rushed towards him and asked him about Ernest Lin's whereabouts. She is now in the center of the black market. All the forces of the black market are there now. She should be fine now. The old man looked at Lin Ming in front of him and said slowly, "Take me there quickly." When Lin Ming heard the old man's words, he immediately shouted at the old man, "No, at least not yet." The old man looked at Lin Ming in front of him and hesitated for a moment, then said to Lin Ming, actually, it was not that he did not want to speak. But when Ernest Lin asked him to leave, she specifically instructed him, "If Lin Ming goes to the fighting arena to ask for my whereabouts, you can just say that I went back." When the old man left the black market center, Ernest specially reminded him, after experiencing the mountain range of magical beasts, Ernest had a full understanding of Lin Ming. She was very clear that if she told Lin Ming what she had encountered in the black market center, Lin Ming would definitely not hesitate to go straight to the black market center to help her. However, Ernest did not want to put Lin Ming in such a dangerous situation. Therefore, when the old man left, Ernest repeatedly instructed him not tell Lin Ming about what she was facing now. Although the old man belonged to the fighting arena and had to listen to Ernest's orders, however, the old man was unwilling to let Ernest take the risk alone. That was why he only revealed that Ernest was currently in the black market center and did not tell Lin Ming the details. "All right, I won't make things difficult for you." Lin Ming heard what the old man said and turned around to look at the fighting arena. Then, he quietly left. Lin Ming knew that this was what Ernest wanted. Otherwise, the old man would definitely tell him everything that had happened. But there was one thing that Lin Ming was sure of. That was that Ernest was definitely in an extremely dangerous environment. Otherwise, she wouldn't have hidden it from him. The center of the black market, right? At worst, I'll just find it. But this black market isn't big, it's not small either. For a moment, just when Lin Ming was in a difficult position, Qing suddenly jumped out and circled around Lin Ming's body. "Qing, can you help me see where the magic power in the black market is denser?" Because Qing could absorb magic power recovery potions, it was naturally able to sense magic power. And now, in the black market, the place where the mana was denser, the more likely it was to be the center of the entire black market. When Qing heard Lin Ming's words, he seemed to have understood. It hurriedly leapt up, rose into the air, and widened its eyes. It was searching for a place in the black market where the mana was denser. A moment later, Qing landed in Lin Ming's hand and kept pointing in two directions. "There are two places in the black market that are releasing magic power now?" Lin Ming saw Qing shaking non-stop and said immediately, "Which place is more concentrated?" Lin Ming asked again. This time, Qing tilted its head and looked as if it was stunned. Then, it crouched down and didn't have any reaction. "Forget it, this is the direction I just came from. I'll go to the other side." Seeing Qing like this, he put Qing back and walked in the direction that it pointed out. The center of the black market. At this moment, several forces that were originally entrenched in the black market were sitting among them. Everyone looked at each other and didn't say a word. Since everyone has no objections, then it's decided? On a round platform, a person stood in front of several people. A black robe draped over his body. The sunlight slanted down slightly. The badge under the black robe was illuminated by the sunlight, revealing a faint luster. That was the badge of a Tier 8 mage. The Tier 8 mage walked back and forth, as if he was asking for everyone's opinion. However, no one spoke. "That's right. If that's the case, the black market will belong to me from now on. And you guys have to manage my place well every day. Do you understand?" The Tier 8 mage said this. "On what basis?" We've worked so hard to build this business. And you're just going to join us so easily? While everyone was silent, Ernest stood up first and spoke to the Tier 8 mage in front of her. Although Ernest was only a Tier 6 assassin, but to a Tier 8 mage, it was like an egg hitting a rock. She could not even withstand a single blow. However, she was still unwilling to give up the entire fighting arena just like that. Since that's the case, let's talk about strength. I, Matthew, will accompany you to the end. When Matthew heard Ernest's words, a hint of displeasure flashed across his face. He immediately walked towards Ernest. Falling star. As he spoke, monstrous magic power instantly surrounded Matthew's body. The pressure of the magic power was being exerted on everyone present. And just the pressure exerted by a Tier 8 mage was enough to make them unable to breathe. Not to mention, facing an attack from a Tier 8 mage. However, Ernest was not resigned at all. I'd rather die than suffer such humiliation. At this moment, beads of sweat were already dripping down Ernest's face. But she still did not want to give up. Even if there was only a sliver of a chance, she wanted to give it a try. Young fellow, you're still too naive. Matthew looked at Ernest and laughed contemptuously. Then, he waved his hand. The surroundings were immediately filled with explosive fire elements, condensing endlessly. It felt as if their lives were in the hands of the Tier 8 mage. Move. Matthew retreated, and the explosive fire elements gathered together. Turning into meteors filled with flames, they shot towards Ernest. In an instant, Ernest was about to lose her ability to withstand the attack of the Tier 8 mage. No, I have to hold on. I still have my revenge. I cannot give up just like that. Before Ernest could launch any attack, she was already kneeling on the ground with her hands on the ground. She desperately wanted to find an opportunity to counterattack. However, she couldn't hold on any longer. Ernest, I'm coming. Suddenly, a familiar voice entered her ears. However, her consciousness was on the verge of collapse. She really couldn't hold on any longer. Then, when she was unconscious, she said this calmly. I must have hallucinated. Otherwise, how could I have seen Lin Ming? With that, Ernest immediately fainted on the ground. Is this kid crazy? He actually dared to come and save Ernest? From the looks of it, he's only a Tier 3 mage. How dare he fight against a Tier 8 mage? Another one who came to court death. When Lin Ming came to Ernest's side, the crowd immediately began to discuss. After all, a Tier 3 mage would never be able to deal with a Tier 8 mage. The difference between a Tier 3 mage and a Tier 8 mage, the latter would probably be able to obliterate them with just a trace of pressure. And when everyone present saw the scene in front of them, they all felt that these two were like 1,000 miles away. This guy must have lost his mind. He's only a Tier 3 mage, how dare he? Even if he lost his mind, he wouldn't dare to do so. After all, the pressure within is not something that ordinary people can withstand. Following Lin Ming's appearance, discussions broke out in the surroundings. Although they wished that Matthew would die 10,000 times, they could tell the difference between delusional reality and reality. We agree with you. At this moment, a hoarse and unwilling voice was heard. Haha, good. A wise man submits to circumstances. Only a wise man can understand life and money. Matthew's purpose for this trip was to take down the black market. Now that his goal had been achieved, he couldn't even be bothered to look at Lin Ming. Father. Beside the old man who had just agreed, a young man frowned. He was indignant. He was furious. The old man only sighed. The results of their painstaking efforts had been taken away. With a single sentence, his eyes were already red. But what was the use of being indignant? The opponent was a Tier 8 mage. He was not someone they could deal with. Moreover, the opponent's strength was something that even if they trained for their entire lives, they would not be able to reach. Wait. When the scene was silent, a voice suddenly sounded. Huh? Matthew turned his head and looked at Lin Ming. He did not attack Lin Ming just now. It was just the disdain of a huge monster when it faced an ant. And now, this ant actually dared to provoke him. At this moment, Matthew didn't say any nonsense and directly attacked. How dare he? A Tier 3 mage was killed by a Tier 8 mage. It can be considered an honor. And at this moment, everyone looked at Lin Ming as if they were looking at a dead person. As expected, not even dregs are left. Following Matthew's attack, Lin Ming's position just now was only a deep pit. Everyone present looked at each other. If they had resisted just now, this would probably be their end. Huh? At this moment, Matthew frowned. As a tier 8 mage, he could still feel whether his magic attack had hit his opponent or not. Just a moment ago, Lin Ming disappeared from his perception. Who are you? Matthew looked in one direction, and everyone's gaze was instantly attracted. He's actually still alive. This is impossible. A tier 3 mage was not even qualified to receive the simplest spell of a tier 8 mage, but now, Lin Ming was standing behind everyone, unharmed. Of course, Lin Ming had the ability to instantly kill Matthew, but he was worried that Ernest would be affected. Lin Ming's eyes were cold, and he did not speak. At this time, Matthew had already lost all of his life force. Boom! Matthew's body collapsed, and dust flew everywhere. Lin Ming still did not speak. He held Ernest in his arms and quickly left the scene. Ernest's body had been severely injured by the attack of a tier 8 mage. Lin Ming's priority now was to heal Ernest. The magic attacks that Ernest's body was suffering from were still wreaking havoc and corroding her body. Such a thorny problem was too child's play in front of a forbidden spell mage like Lin Ming. With just a slight movement of Lin Ming's finger, the raging magic in Ernest's body disappeared in an instant. At this moment, the black market was in chaos. After all, a tier 8 mage had lost his life just like that. Everyone, take refuge quickly. Run as far as you can. If a tier 8 mage was killed in the black market, everyone present would suffer revenge. After all, the connections of a tier 8 mage were extremely extensive. Run? Where can we run to? Pity for them, they did not even have the ability to escape. Now, there is only one way to go. Follow Lin Ming. Although they were already distracted, their reactions were still there. Now, if they wanted to live, they could only follow Lin Ming and seek Lin Ming's protection. But did Lin Ming really kill this tier 8 mage? Yes, perhaps he died of other reasons. After all, he was only a tier 3 mage. They could not see Lin Ming's attack clearly. Even if they did, they did not understand how terrifying Lin Ming's magic was. In their hearts, Lin Ming was still the tier 3 mage. A tier 8 mage would die by chance? The old man who had just spoken snorted and took the lead to follow Lin Ming's direction. Following the old man's departure, the various families quickly followed. How could a tier 8 mage die by chance? At this moment, Ernest woke up in Lin Ming's arms. Where is this? Before Ernest fainted, all of her thoughts were unable to escape death. And now, looking at her surroundings, she thought that she had entered hell. You have just recovered. And your body is still a little weak. Don't move. Lin Ming's voice rang out, and Ernest suddenly turned her head. You, the tier 8 mage just now? Ernest felt the pain in her body, but it was not a big deal. Dead, Lin Ming said calmly. The only outcome was death. But, Ernest said in surprise, all right, you should rest well. Lin Ming gathered the purest magical energy in his hands and slowly injected it into Ernest's body. Ernest could feel her body being surrounded by heat. And it was extremely comfortable. As Lin Ming stopped, not only did Ernest fully recover, she could even feel that her realm was showing signs of a breakthrough. However, she was not greedy. In her opinion, being able to live was the best outcome. Furthermore, as an assassin, combat and attacking methods were the most important things. Relying on external forces to grow, one could only be beaten by those of the same realm. Young hero, please accept me, this old slave. At this moment, an old voice sounded, and the owner of this voice was the old man from earlier. I'm used to being alone. Lin Ming spoke, his meaning was clear. Lin Ming had the system and many secrets. He didn't want anyone to pull him down. Please accept us. Many voices sounded from the surroundings. They were from the various families of the black market. We are willing to give half of the income of the black market. To the young hero, the head of a family spoke. Half of the income of the black market was not a small amount. There's no need. Lin Ming still shook his head. All the income belongs to the young hero. From now on, we are all your servants. Now, in order to survive, they did not care much anymore. The amount of gold coins in the entire black market could only be calculated with terror. When the old man said this, Lin Ming's heart was also moved. I know what you all are thinking. Lin Ming spoke coldly. They just wanted to save their own lives. But now, they were also generous. One had to know that even when facing the pressure of a tier 8 mage, there were still people who wanted to resist. But now, no one refuted. Young hero, please take us in. Everyone spoke in unison again. Don't worry, no one will take revenge on you. Even if Matthew had many friends, they would only run away when they saw the black fire in his body. You mean, Matthew is alone? As Lin Ming spoke, this was everyone's first thought. You can believe my words. Just leave without worry. Lin Ming was too lazy to explain. Moreover, if he told the truth, it would bring great trouble. But, if they left, they would not even be able to eat a meal. You can believe in Lin Ming. He can only be described as a miracle. At this moment, Ernest stood up and spoke. At this moment, she was in high spirits. It could not tell that she had just been knocked unconscious by a Tier 8 mage. A Tier 8 mage can be killed in an instant. Even if some of Matthew's friends want to take revenge, would they dare? Ernest continued to speak. Although she had just fainted during the battle just now, she had also learned a lot from the conversation. Her jaw dropped in shock. However, she had gotten used to Lin Ming's miracles. Now that Lin Ming had killed a Tier 8 mage in an instant, she felt that this was how it should be. Indeed, we were scared out of our wits and made a mistake. As Ernest spoke, everyone finally woke up. Lin Ming, you saved all of us. We're willing to transfer 50% of the black market's profits to your name. Ernest spoke at this moment, without discussing with everyone present. She directly gave such a large amount to Lin Ming. Everyone present nodded silently. Just now, in order to survive, they were even willing to give 100% of their income to Lin Ming. Now, they felt that they were taking advantage of 50%. Lin Ming had saved Ernest Lin without any interest to drive him. Now that he had received such a share, he instinctively wanted to refuse. If it weren't for you, we would have been enslaved long ago. Please accept it. At this moment, the old man spoke again. Ernest didn't wait for Lin Ming to refuse, and directly stuffed a magic crystal card into Lin Ming's hand. Young hero, then we'll go back. We'll never forget the kindness of saving our lives today. If you have any use for us in the future, just say the word and we'll definitely fulfill your every need. The old man could see the subtle relationship between Ernest and Lin Ming. Thinking of himself as an old man, he didn't want to disturb them. The members of the various families also left after exchanging a few words of courtesy. Patriarch Lin Ming was clearly going to refuse just now. Why? At this moment, a young man beside the old man couldn't help but speak up. He really wasn't convinced that such a profit would be distributed to a student around his age just like that. What do you know? The old man could not help but swear when he heard this. How could there be such a short-sighted person in his family? What we are most worried about is that Lin Ming won't accept it. Lin Ming will accept it. If the black market really suffers revenge in the future, he will not sit idly by. If he doesn't accept it, there is a possibility that your head will fall off every day. After the old man finished speaking, he left in large strides. At this moment, in Ernest's room. How did you do it? No matter what, you are only a Tier 3 mage. Ernest could not help but ask. Maybe that guy's body isn't working well, or maybe I was lucky. Anyway, I don't know why, but he died. Lin Ming spread his palms. Do you think I'm a 3-year-old kid? Tell me quickly. Ernest rolled her eyes and said in a bad tone. A Tier 8 mage's body was not working? You'll know about this in the future. Lin Ming took a deep breath, but still did not tell the truth. I'll allow you to have your own little secret. Smart women always knew when to stop. Oh no. Lin Ming suddenly stood up. What's wrong? Ernest was shocked and quickly stood up as well. Could it be that a friend of a Tier 8 mage came to take revenge? Teacher Reg, he's still in the black market. Lin Ming had forgotten about this matter when he faced the unconscious Ernest. Teacher Reg was probably already anxious from waiting. I thought it was something big. Ernest heaved a sigh of relief. Lin Ming could even kill a Tier 8 mage in an instant, but Reg was still a long way from reaching Tier 8. I'll go look for Teacher Reg first. Lin Ming quickly headed to the black market. Teacher Reg had followed him here because he couldn't put his mind at ease. He couldn't leave Teacher Reg in the black market and worry about him all the time. Tell everyone in the families not to tell anyone about what happened today. Lin Ming spoke. He didn't want to get himself into trouble for no reason. Okay, Ernest nodded. She understood what Lin Ming meant. After Lin Ming left, Ernest quickly informed the families of Lin Ming's intentions. After settling this matter, she sat cross-legged and closed her eyes. The pure power that Lin Ming had just passed on to her had to be completely absorbed and digested. At this moment, in the black market, Teacher Reg was standing at the spot where the Tier 8 mage had been killed. How is this possible? A tier 8 mage, such an existence had actually turned into a corpse, and it was in this black market. Reg probed forward. Black fire again. Reg frowned. Teacher. Lin Ming's voice rang out, pulling Reg back from the extreme shock. Where did you go just now? Reg looked at Lin Ming and asked. No matter what, he would never associate Lin Ming with the death of the tier 8 mage in front of him. I went to see a friend. Teacher, let's go back. Lin Ming looked at the slightly absent-minded Reg and said. Okay. Reg also nodded. Now he had to report this matter to the principal. Otherwise, the death of a tier 8 mage might even affect their Green Academy. The two quickly returned to the school. Reg rushed to the principal's office with a heavy heart. What? A shocked voice came from the principal's office. This matter is of great importance. Don't make any noise. This matter was so important that even he couldn't bear it. Yes, I understand. Reg nodded. He naturally knew what was at stake. The principal stood up. He wanted to investigate, but he didn't want to get into trouble. You said you went to protect Lin Ming? The principal thought of the beginning of the topic. Yes. Reg nodded. This kind of thing wasn't worth hiding. Remember not to let Lin Ming spill the beans. After saying that, the principal let Reg leave first. When Reg left, he suddenly thought of Lin Ming, who was facing the death of a tier 8 mage, and how calm he was. Could that kid Lin Ming have witnessed the death of that tier 8 mage? Reg muttered to himself. Lin Ming, come with me. Reg brought Lin Ming to his office. What happened today? Reg went straight to the point. Don't worry, teacher. I won't mention anything about what happened today, no matter who it is. Lin Ming understood Reg's meaning and quickly promised. Looking at Lin Ming, who readily agreed, Reg didn't ask the question in the end. After all, it was still the same sentence. The gap between a tier 3 and tier 8 mage was too big. It was so big that it couldn't even be described with words. You have already practiced the fire controlling spell I taught you well. But remember not to be arrogant. You must practice it steadily. Do you understand? Reg looked at Lin Ming and began to instruct him. The bald teacher, who had always been the most strict, actually became a little cautious when facing Lin Ming after today's incident. He couldn't help but be cautious. Yes, teacher, don't worry, I will practice diligently. Lin Ming nodded. Although Reg didn't want to encourage Lin Ming, he wanted to teach Lin Ming all of his abilities. Today, I will teach you another attack spell. Reg looked at Lin Ming, who was extremely talented, and said, although he had told Lin Ming not to be proud, the fire controlling spell that Lin Ming controlled was definitely one of the best among tier 3 mages. Even he felt great pressure. Now, he wanted to teach Lin Ming the most powerful attack spell that he was best at. Thank you, teacher, Lin Ming said excitedly. The offensive spell that Reg taught him would definitely be extremely powerful. It would definitely surpass any attack magic that he had learned now. Have you heard of the Dazzling Dragon spell? Reg looked at Lin Ming and spoke solemnly. Dazzling Dragon spell? Lin Ming nodded. He knew of such a powerful attack magic. Every academy had their own attack or defensive magic, and the Dazzling Dragon spell was Green Academy's trump card. Until now, in the entire academy, the only teacher who knew this spell was Reg. This attack spell is extremely overbearing. Moreover, if you practice it at the beginning, you might injure yourself. Are you willing to learn it? Reg looked at Lin Ming and asked. I'm willing. Lin Ming hurriedly nodded. If it was someone else, they would definitely have to consider it. After all, practicing the Dazzling Dragon spell and setting fire to oneself wasn't something that hadn't happened before in Green Academy. Lin Ming didn't need to think so much. He only needed to learn the system and add some points. Okay. Looking at Lin Ming's determined attitude, Reg nodded and brought Lin Ming to the practice field. After all, if the overbearing Dazzling Dragon spell was cast, the entire office building would probably be burned to ashes. The Dazzling Dragon spell itself is extremely difficult to control. And the attack spell itself. Reg earnestly taught Lin Ming, and every single detail was extremely clear. Looking at the bald teacher in front of him, Lin Ming felt waves of warmth. After teaching all the details of the Dazzling Dragon spell, Reg raised his hand, and in an instant, a streak of flames soared into the sky. In a flash, an attack landed on the ground. It was truly like a huge dragon smashing fiercely onto the ground. And this was the effect of the attack that Reg had used only 30% of his strength to create. The most terrifying and troublesome part of the Dazzling Dragon spell is that it can only dissipate after a few attacks. If the magic power is extremely pure and the magic is rich, the number of times it can be stacked will reach a certain level. It can even reach the level of a fire dragon and end the whole battle. After Reg finished casting, he looked at Lin Ming and said, at this moment, the name of the dazzling dragon spell appeared in Lin Ming's mind. Lin Ming clicked the plus sign. Ding, your mastery of the dazzling dragon spell has increased. Current level is beginner, level 1. The mechanical voice appeared again. Lin Ming activated the magic, and a huge wave of heat burst out from his body. This wave of heat even forced Reg back a few steps. If Lin Ming had directly cast the fire-controlling spell last time, Reg would have been surprised and excited. This time, Reg was only shocked. Because under Reg's nervous gaze, Lin Ming, who had cast the dazzling dragon spell, showed no signs of suffering a backlash, and the so-called self-immolation didn't exist at all. This is simply monstrous. Reg stood still and didn't move at all. Now, Reg looked like he had suffered a great blow. When he cultivated the dazzling dragon spell, he almost burned himself on the spot. If it weren't for his strong willpower and his good talent, he probably wouldn't have been able to learn the dazzling dragon spell. But now, Lin Ming, who had just learned it once, could actually cast it directly. Moreover, the dazzling dragon spell that Lin Ming cast was extremely pure. Teacher, is that so? Looking at Reg, who was a little stunned, Lin Ming opened his mouth to interrupt him in this state. Yes, Reg took a deep breath and nodded. No matter how monstrous this kid was, wasn't he still his own student? The teacher should be happy that the student surpassed the master, right? When he first taught Lin Ming magic, he was worried that Lin Ming would be too hasty, that caused his foundation to be unstable. But now, it seemed that he was overthinking things. A monster was not something an ordinary person could imagine. And Lin Ming was that monster. No matter how talented you are, the dazzling dragon spell is extremely difficult to control. You should practice it for a period of time. Remember, don't be too hasty. If you have any questions, you must ask me immediately. Although he had suffered a huge blow, Reg still instructed him. Yes, thank you, teacher, for your guidance. Lin Ming nodded. Learning the dazzling dragon spell had made him extremely happy. With such an attack spell, he was confident that he could kill someone even if one was 3 tiers higher. And now, Lin Ming naturally couldn't wait to click on the plus sign of the dazzling dragon spell. Today, you can practice the dazzling dragon spell here. After saying that, Reg turned around and left. Reg felt a sense of defeat. This student didn't need a teacher at all. The dazzling dragon spell was so difficult to learn, but Lin Ming could learn it after Reg taught him once. Moreover, the first time Lin Ming cast it, it felt like he had practiced it for a long time. Right now, Lin Ming was looking forward to Teacher Reg's departure. After all, with Teacher Reg around, he still had to hide his magic upgrade. Looking at the plus sign in front of him, Lin Ming clicked it without hesitation. Ding, your mastery of the dazzling dragon spell has been increased. Current level is beginner, level 2. Ding, your mastery of the fire wave technique has been increased. Current level is beginner, level 3. Quote, how come my mastery has already reached level 3, and I'm still a beginner? Reg frowned. One had to know that the fire controlling spell and the fire wave technique he had learned before were already proficient at level 3. Now that the dazzling dragon spell had reached level 3, it was still a beginner's mastery. This dazzling dragon spell is interesting. Lin Ming said. This was enough to prove that the dazzling dragon spell itself was very high level. Therefore, level 3 was only at the beginner level. Level up. Lin Ming added a plus sign again, and the dazzling dragon spell was upgraded again. When the dazzling dragon spell reached level 4, its mastery was just displayed. Lin Ming had leveled up to level 8 in a single breath. And this level 8 proficiency wasn't even the end. To be able to become the trump card of the entire academy, the dazzling dragon spell was indeed able to suppress it. Ding! The system has discovered that the dazzling dragon spell that the host has learned is incomplete. Is it complete? At this moment, the system's voice sounded. Complete. Lin Ming nodded, and excitement surged in his heart. It could be said that the trump card that Teacher Reg had imparted to him was incomplete, and once it was completed, the might contained within would be sufficient to destroy the world. Ding! The dazzling dragon spell has been perfected. Host, do you wish to continue leveling up? Not too long later, the system's voice sounded once more. Level up. Lin Ming nodded his head to level up. Whoosh. As the dazzling dragon spell leveled up, Lin Ming was surrounded by a huge wave of heat. Lin Ming roared angrily, and fire element power gushed out. The protective spells around Lin Ming were scattered in all directions. Fortunately, Lin Ming controlled it in time, or else this place would have been turned into ruins. Is this the power that a Tier 3 mage can release? As this power erupted, everyone's eyes were attracted. I'm afraid even a Tier 5 mage wouldn't be able to release such power, right? It's actually the dazzling dragon spell. As more and more people looked at Lin Ming, there were naturally more knowledgeable people who knew that the power surrounding Lin Ming's body was the dazzling dragon spell. It can't be the dazzling dragon spell, right? Isn't it said that in the entire Green Academy only Teacher Reg knows this attack spell? A voice immediately refuted from the side. It's Lin Ming again. It's not surprising that it happened to this monster. Not long after, Lin Ming realized that he was actually surrounded in the middle of the crowd. And Lin Ming naturally didn't want to create such a big commotion. Now that he was surrounded, he quickly withdrew. In the principal's office, this kid, the principal looked at the magic crystal in front of him and couldn't help but speak. This year's Green Academy will definitely take first place. After saying this, a gratified smile appeared on the principal's face. This dazzling dragon spell is indeed formidable. Lin Ming's heart was filled with excitement. Currently, his physical strength has been somewhat depleted. Before entering the dormitory, he took out a bottle of energy replenishing potion and drank it all in one go. Lin Ming, where have you been? I feel like I haven't seen you for a long time. As soon as he entered the dormitory, Lin Ming was asked all kinds of questions. Lin Ming also knew that they were genuinely concerned about him. So he answered them one by one with a smile. A lot of things have happened recently, so I'll rest for a while. After Lin Ming finished speaking, he laid on the bed and entered a meditative state. The other people in the dormitory also tactfully left. As Lin Ming entered Dreamland, the place where he had just made a move in the black market had already caused a huge uproar. Matthew, I will definitely avenge you. A man in a black robe looked at Matthew's corpse and gnashed his teeth. This black market shall cease to exist. An extremely powerful and overbearing power erupted from this man's body. As the power erupted, he was also a Tier 8 mage. At this moment, all the families were enveloped by a terrifying aura. They were about to face a massacre. Dion, stop. At this moment, a voice appeared, suppressing the aura of the black-robed man. Brother, what happened to you? Dion frowned. If he did not take revenge, he would have wasted his life. As a Tier 8 mage, don't you even have the patience to investigate the cause of death? This voice appeared once again, throwing Matthew's corpse in front of him. But Dion had just opened his mouth, but he immediately shut it. He had been too angry when he saw Matthew's corpse. This had caused him to really neglect this point. Now, as he investigated, he discovered that there was a residual magic aura in Matthew's body. It was black fire. He was a Tier 8 mage. Compared to a mage who possessed black fire, he was really not even worth a finger. Let's go. The mage who had just opened his mouth spoke. In his tone, there was not only impatience, but also some panic. A mage with black fire could easily kill the two of them. But Dion was still a little unwilling. Shut up. If you don't want to live, don't drag me down. At this moment, this mage's patience had run out and he had actually left. Dion glanced at Matthew's corpse on the ground and hurriedly followed. Having cultivated to such a state, he did not want to be buried in this godforsaken place. And the various families could clearly feel that an extreme pressure had disappeared in an instant. What happened just now? A wave of panic grew in me. The various families had similar symptoms, but had disappeared. At this moment, in Lin Ming's dormitory, Lin Ming, the principal, came to our dormitory personally and said that he wants to see you. Lin Ming in meditative state was interrupted by a few excited roommates, so he could only open his eyes helplessly. Lin Ming, the principal's voice sounded as well. Principal, why are you here? Lin Ming also hurriedly stood up. It must not be a casual visit. The principal's arrival must be something important. Furthermore, it was a huge matter. Otherwise, ordinary teachers would have been able to relay the news to him, much less the principal himself. Follow me. With a smile on his face, the principal brought Lin Ming out of the dormitory. Lin Ming is indeed amazing. The principal actually invited him personally. Not only that, I have never seen such a smile on the principal's face before. Following Lin Ming's departure, the dormitory immediately exploded into a pot of porridge. Being personally invited by the principal, they probably wouldn't be able to achieve such accomplishments in their entire lives. Principal, if there's anything you need, feel free to tell me. Lin Ming directly went straight to the point. After all, in front of the principal, he couldn't say any flowery words. This old man sat opposite him, as steady as Mount Tai. It was really difficult to tell him any jokes. Do you know that every academy holds a competition on a regular basis? The principal looked at Lin Ming and voiced out his inner thoughts. Originally, he had wanted to praise this kid first. But looking at Lin Ming's serious appearance, he didn't seem like someone who would fall for this. Yes, I've heard of him. Lin Ming nodded. Regular competitions could not only maintain the vitality of every academy, but also fill every student with fighting spirit. After all, if one could make a name for themselves in such competitions, all the empires would fight for it. Moreover, the amount of resources was enough to accumulate a high-tier mage. This time, our Green Academy will have you as the captain. Are you willing? The principal looked at Lin Ming and asked. Regardless of whether Lin Ming agreed or not, this decision would not change. Lin Ming's strengths, magic power, and so on, could not be compared to those of higher-grade mages. Even if the strongest mage of the higher grade led the academy, it would still be difficult for them to escape from being at the bottom. But if Lin Ming became the captain, then it would be different. Lin Ming instinctively wanted to reject. After all, he still wanted to keep a low profile, especially in this academy. The academy that is ranked first will have extremely high rewards. And as the captain of the first-ranked academy, do you know what kind of rewards there will be? The principal was already prepared for Lin Ming to reject. Without waiting for Lin Ming to finish, he directly interrupted him. What reward? Although he knew about the regular competitions between the academies, he wasn't too sure about the details. However, in his opinion, the rewards of the top-ranked academies should be about the same. The captain of the top-ranked academy will be specially approved to enter the spiritual spring pool for cultivation. The principal took a deep breath and said, Spiritual spring pool? Lin Ming frowned, although he didn't know what this was, but from the principal's tone, he could tell that the spiritual spring pool was definitely an excellent place for cultivation. That's right, our Green Academy has never received such an honor in such a long time. The principal sighed. Our Green Academy has always been at the bottom. In the principal's heart, this had always been a humiliation. But there was nothing he could do about it. Entering the spiritual spring pool to cultivate. Even the most heaven-defying person could complete one's cultivation and crossed a whole 3 tiers. When the principal said this, his tone was full of envy. So powerful? A whole 3 tiers. Even Lin Ming was extremely shocked. After all, strictly speaking, he was only a tier 3 mage. So, are you willing to be the captain? The principal looked at Lin Ming and asked seriously. I'm willing. Lin Ming nodded. The benefits of the spiritual spring pool were definitely not as simple as breaking through. Okay, the principal nodded in satisfaction. However, if I were to announce you as the captain, there would definitely be people in the higher grades who would be unconvinced. Do you have the confidence to defeat them one by one? The principal asked. Of course. Lin Ming nodded his head indifferently. He did not feel any pressure at all. All right then, the competition will begin immediately. I will announce this matter at the teacher-student meeting tomorrow. The principal laughed heartily. He was actually a little excited. Right, don't use your dazzling dragon spell. Unless you have no other choice. Do you remember it? The principal looked at Lin Ming and spoke once more seriously. He had just finished cultivating the dazzling dragon spell. And the principal already knew about it? Every blade of grass and every tree in the academy is under my control. Thus, I have taken note of your cultivation as well. The principal did not hide anything. He used the magic power in his hands, and the magic crystal in front of him immediately lit up, reflecting every blade of grass and every tree in the entire academy. If the team you lead this time can become number 1, then this magic crystal will be my gift to you. The principal did not hesitate either. He directly drew a big cake and encouraged Lin Ming. Okay, Lin Ming nodded. After exchanging a few words with the principal, he left the principal's office. Lin Ming did not return to the dormitory immediately. Instead, he took a turn. He was ready to take a look at Ernest's current situation. "Are you all right?" Arriving beside Ernest, Lin Ming asked. Just now, each family was enveloped by a terrifying force, although this force quickly disappeared, but Ernest let out a sigh of relief when she saw Lin Ming. That feeling just now was really uncomfortable. "Ernest, please." At this moment, a voice sounded from outside. It was the heads of the families that had arrived. The reason they had arrived here was because they wanted Ernest to invite Lin Ming over to protect them. "Young hero, you're here too." Just now, everyone looked at Lin Ming as if they saw a life-saving straw. "All right, I know what happened." Lin Ming looked at the terrified expressions of the people around him and could guess that it wasn't too far off. Did Matthew's corpse move, or disappear? Lin Ming looked at the heads of the various families and asked. "It did move. We also brought his corpse here." A head of the various families hurriedly nodded. "Hang Matthew's corpse at the entrance of the black market. From now on, no one will find trouble with you." Lin Ming spoke, since they had just been enveloped by a terrifying aura, and this aura had quickly disappeared. It did not destroy the black market. This could only mean one thing. The person who came to take revenge had detected the remaining black fire in Matthew's body. But wouldn't such a brazen act attract even greater revenge? "You can trust me. Also, I don't want to repeat myself." Lin Ming spoke. Although he looked like he was only a tier 3 mage, he had pressured all the heads from the various families present. "Do it quickly." The heads from various families quickly ordered their subordinates. "The profits from today have been transferred to your magic crystal card." One of the head from the various families faced Lin Ming and spoke respectfully. "I've said before that no one would dare to take revenge on you. You just have to believe me." Lin Ming looked at the people who were still surrounding him and sighed. "If there's nothing else, please leave." Lin Ming waved his hand and was too lazy to continue chatting with them. "Yes, young hero, if there's anything else in the future, please feel free to tell me." The heads of the families all left respectfully. "Lin Ming, just how many secrets do you have that I don't know?" Ernest looked at Lin Ming. They were clearly closed with each other, but he gave off a feeling like a stranger. "I am who I am, a different firework." Lin Ming smiled and joked. Ernest looked at Lin Ming, who was teasing her, and sighed. She knew that everyone had secrets, and the secrets on Lin Ming were much more shocking than the secrets of her so-called background. What was on Lin Ming was probably a shocking secret. "Is your body okay now?" Lin Ming looked at Ernest and asked. "Yes, this time, it's all thanks to you." Ernest nodded. This time, if it wasn't for Lin Ming, she would have lost her life. "It's good that you're all right. Recently, there will be a competition in Green Academy. I'm afraid there won't be enough time for training." Lin Ming spoke to Ernest. "Recently, I also have some matters that need to be taken care of." Ernest nodded. The two of them had their own matters to attend to now. "I'll wait for you to win first place." Ernest didn't have any doubts about Lin Ming's strength. "I also wish you all the best." The two of them looked at each other and smiled. After a few words, Lin Ming left. After settling his worries, Lin Ming returned to the dormitory. "Lin Ming, the principal, invited you personally just now. What did he say?" Speaking of gossipy hearts, everyone had one. And regarding this matter, they were all particularly interested in gossiping. After all, the principal was too lofty in their hearts. He said something about the academy's regular competition. Lin Ming didn't hide it. "He wants me to be the captain of Green Academy." After Lin Ming said that, the three people around him all had incredulous expressions. Isn't it only the strongest senior in the higher grades have such an honor every year? Lin Ming is indeed the boss. The seniors are nothing? Flattery and surprised voices sounded at the same time. "How's your magic cultivation recently?" Lin Ming wasn't intoxicated by this matter. He asked them instead. "It's still the same." "Lin Ming, you know how magic cultivation can be indeed too slow." The three of them sighed. They also wanted to be like Lin Ming, who was monstrous. "Calm your heart." Lin Ming spoke. The most important thing in magic cultivation was the state of mind. Now that they were together with him, their state of mind had undergone a subtle change. This kind of change could not even be made up for by talent. Everyone's path is different. talent, family background, and so on. That's why we have to cultivate and fight hard. I believe that you all know what unnecessary words are. If you give up and your state of mind is messed up, you won't be able to withstand a single blow in front of anyone. Lin Ming opened his mouth to help them change their state of mind. Yes, we understand. The three people in the dormitory nodded. When Lin Ming returned to the dormitory, it was already late at night. Not long after, everyone entered into a meditative state. The next day, all the teachers and students of Green Academy had gathered. Today, I have gathered all of you here. I believe that all of you know why. The principal stood at a high place, his voice resounding throughout the entire meeting. The regular academy competition is about to begin. Our Green Academy will select the most outstanding students to compete with the various academies. As the principal spoke, the crowd below immediately exploded. Every year, there will be a competition to determine the participants. However, this year is a little different. The captain of the participants this time is Lin Ming. The principal's words this time could be considered to have caused an uproar. As for the other participants, there are a total of 7 people. They are the highest tier students of Green Academy. Do you have any objections? The principal looked down. He had long expected such a scene. They were naturally convinced of the highest tier mages. After all, strength was the most important. There was nothing to be unconvinced about. But now, Lin Ming was only a tier 3 mage, and he could only be considered as a new student. So at this time, naturally, there were people who were unconvinced. Principal, why did you give the captain spot to Lin Ming? At this time, even the teachers below couldn't help but ask. Although the competition this year is cancelled, if any of you are unconvinced, you can challenge this captain spot at any time. The principal looked down from above and released his pressure. Instantly, there was silence below. The reason for cancelling the competition was simple. After all, there was no such thing as a dark horse. His magic crystal had clearly seen all the outstanding students in the academy. Moreover, Lin Ming is not allowed to refuse any challenge, even a challenge from a tier 1 mage. The principal opened his mouth. Lin Ming, on the other hand, had a bitter expression on his face when he heard this. Although he wasn't worried that anything would go wrong. Even a tier 1 mage could challenge him at any time, and he couldn't refuse. Those who cared would probably exhaust him to death. Even if they couldn't exhaust him, they would also annoy him to death. And this was also the principal's goal. He wanted to see how Lin Ming would solve the problem in this situation. To become the public enemy of all the students of Green Academy, and to be scheming and dangerous at the same time, was a tremendous pressure. Only by enduring such pressure, and being able to cope with such pressure, could he possibly lead Green Academy to the first place. After all, when the time came, the accidents and dangers in all the academy's competitions would be extremely fatal. And this time, the principal broke the rules. He really couldn't stand the humiliation of being at the bottom of every competition. Alright, the meeting is over. The principal acted swiftly and decisively. With just a few words, he ended the meeting of all the teachers and students. And with the principal's departure, the entire hall exploded. They had even automatically become allies in their hearts. And the common opponent of everyone was Lin Ming. Lin Ming, you have to protect us well. At this time, Lin Ming's roommate leaned close to Lin Ming with a bitter look on his face. Lin Ming had absolute strength and was not afraid of all kinds of tricks. They were so close to Lin Ming that they were afraid that they would be threatened by someone with ulterior motives. These few days, you will follow me in the academy and participate in various challenges. If you can fight or win, you can fight and grow. Lin Ming looked at them and spoke. Since even a tier 1 mage could challenge him, he would find a few low-tier mages and kill them instantly. Actual combat is the most important. After Lin Ming spoke, the few of them nodded. Although this matter seemed to be the most dangerous place was the safest place. Moreover, actual combat could indeed grow one's body. Lin Ming, I refuse to accept this. At this moment, a higher grade mage stood in front of Lin Ming coldly. All you have to do is say that you want to challenge or get lost. There's no need to say so much nonsense. Lin Ming said lightly. This kind of situation will probably repeat itself for the next few days. I'll let you off today. This senior mage was really smart. He wanted to know Lin Ming's depth before making a move. and there were quite a few people watching from the sidelines. After all, they were all senior students. If they were defeated, they would lose face. Not to mention that they were the ones who initiated the provocation. But right from the start, if they directly defeated Lin Ming, wouldn't that be a slap to the principal's face? Therefore, at this time, the smarter ones were all waiting for the first person to eat the crab. At this time, several senior mages of the Green Academy began to secretly discuss. One had to know that becoming the captain in the competition, even if it was at the bottom of the ranking, would still have a lot of benefits. Therefore, they looked at Lin Ming, who was directly chosen as the captain. Naturally, they were extremely unwilling. Moreover, jealousy made people completely unrecognizable. Their methods were not as low-end as letting a Tier 1 mage exhaust Lin Ming's patience. Let many Tier 3 and above mages challenge within a day. A senior mage suggested. Sure, a Tier 3 mage is the main force. Do you have any methods to make them all work for us? A Tier 3 mage's status in the academy wasn't low, and with Lin Ming's current strength, the only ones who could influence him were Tier 3 and above mages. Spread rumors and exaggerate the temptation. After all, everyone will be unconvinced by the internal decision this time. A student spoke. In fact, the hearts of the people were the easiest to be bewitched. Moreover, the internal decision this time had already caused dissatisfaction among the crowd. As long as they fanned the flames a little, Lin Ming would receive a large number of challenges. There isn't much time. Let's carry out this matter immediately. The people who were discussing there quickly stood up. In their hearts, they naturally thought that the fishermen would reap the benefits. However, this method was still too child's play for Lin Ming. Less than 2 hours after the meeting held by the principal ended, the door of Lin Ming's dormitory was filled with a sea of people. Lin Ming was helpless. Right now, it was really difficult for him to even eat. All challengers, please come to the training ground. I will not refuse anyone's challenge. Lin Ming walked in front, and everyone consciously made way for him for a day. Lin Ming knew that if he did not want to spend the rest of his days in the training ground, he would need to use his own methods. In a battle, the slightest mistake will cause uncontrollable things to happen. In a magical battle, there are many dangers. Lin Ming spoke, and his methods began to show. Therefore, all challengers who want to defeat me need to sign a contract before they fight with me. Lin Ming took out a contract that he had prepared long ago. In a battle with me, if you are injured, neither I nor the challenger will be held responsible. Even if you are crippled or even dead. Lin Ming opened his mouth and looked around. As Lin Ming entered the training ground, the place was already filled with people. Although most of them were just watching the show, there were still quite a few challengers who were eager to give it a try. Hiss, this kid is really ruthless. As Lin Ming took out the contract, discussions immediately broke out. Lin Ming's move was really ruthless. This was a fight, and had to sign a life and death contract. Not to mention a Tier 1 or a Tier 2 mage giving up the opportunity to harass. Even a Tier 3 mage had to think twice before challenging him. After all, although they were not convinced that Lin Ming was the appointed captain, they all knew that this kid, Lin Ming, was a monster. Some of the older students were not a match for Lin Ming either. Among Tier 3 mages, there were probably not many who could fight him. A Tier 4 or even a Tier 5 mage is challenging you. Do you dare to sign this contract? At this moment, a loud voice sounded. Although this voice was loud, it gave off a cold and gloomy feeling. Everyone turned around. This person was one of the mages who had discussed with the upper grades to create public opinion. Lin Ming's method had caused his earlier efforts to be in vain. Naturally, he was extremely angry. Of course, Lin Ming looked at this person and nodded solemnly. Even if a mage with a tier than me injured me in the battle, I will not pursue any responsibility. Lin Ming nodded. Since he had taken out this contract, he had his own confidence. Even if a real Tier 5 mage fought with him, what was the harm? Under the circumstances that he would not reveal any of his secrets. Lin Ming was confident that he could win. Good, you're straightforward and domineering. After Lin Ming nodded, another voice appeared. Everyone looked in the same direction with respect. Because the owner of this voice was none other than Reg. Everyone clicked their tongues, thinking, you must be biased to come here. However, everyone knew that Reg had a fiery temper. Even upper-grade mages didn't want to touch this bad luck. However, with Reg's appearance, some of their plans became even more difficult to carry out. This made them even angrier. For the first round, is there anyone who wants to challenge me? If not, I don't want to waste my time here. Lin Ming opened his mouth and looked around. Although he was only at tier 3, he gave so many people a formless and powerful pressure. Let me do it. As Lin Ming's voice fell, a burly man rushed forward. This man did not waste any words, and directly signed his name on the contract. This person can be considered famous among tier 3 mages. Everyone watched the first battle very seriously. After all, Lin Ming did not make many moves in school. In addition, after Lin Ming had become a tier 3 mage in such a short period of time, no one had ever seen him fight. They also wanted to see the true strength of Lin Ming. The chosen captain. Please. Lin Ming had a good attitude towards the first challenger. Good, I'll let you, a guy who uses the back door. See how powerful I am. The burly man in front of him said arrogantly. The surrounding magic power surged and rushed toward Lin Ming. Fire snake spell. Lin Ming only cast a tier 1 spell in the face of the attack. Facing a tier 3 attack spell, this Lin Ming only used the fire snake spell to attack? This kid is too arrogant. He's destined to suffer a little. No one in the crowd believed that a tier 1 spell, the simplest one, could collide with a tier 3 spell. Whoosh! The fire snake spell was extremely condensed, and with a piercing sound, it shot toward the burly man. As the fire snake spell arrived, the burly man let out a miserable cry. He couldn't control his body and fell heavily to the ground. The spell that hit Lin Ming was easily neutralized by Lin Ming. What's going on? Everyone was shocked by the scene in front of them. This guy, could he be a procrastinator? Looking at the burly man on the ground, this thought couldn't help but be born in everyone's mind. A person who was ranked among the top tier 3 mages was instantly killed by a tier 1 spell after using a tier 3 spell. Furthermore, the opponent was only a tier 3 mage. When such a situation occurred, it was likely that everyone had the same thoughts. Following the appearance of a world-shaking roar, everyone's thoughts were interrupted. Everyone focused their eyes and saw that a hole had appeared on the left arm of the burly man who had been attacked by Lin Ming. The blood within had long been evaporated by the fire element magic. As for the burly man's thought of dragging it out, with the appearance of this scene, it was dispelled. After all, no one would be idle and drag it out. They would be beaten until one of their arms was crippled. Fortunately, there was too much commotion here. A few teachers with healing elements were also present and acted quickly. Otherwise, this burly man's arm might not be able to be preserved. Lin Ming, you're going a little overboard. At this moment, a cold voice appeared from the crowd. This is just a spar between classmates after all. You're directly harming the body of a classmate. What do you intend to do? Lin Ming's actions had indeed shocked everyone present. Moreover, there were very few people who believed that a tier 3 mage would dare to challenge him. However, this also caused public anger. You also want to challenge? Lin Ming did not reply, with the teacher of the healing element around. The injury on this burly man's arm would not even leave a wound. HMPH. The person who spoke only let out a cold snort. He was also stunned. His eloquence was not bad, but if he really went on stage, he was really afraid that his body would be pierced through. In the principal's office, this kid is ruthless enough. He is also capable enough. The principal looked at Lin Ming in the magic crystal stone. The more he looked at him, the more he liked him. One had to know that in every academy's regular competition, it was not in the arena. Instead, they were transported to an extremely large arena to engage in actual combat. There weren't any healing or control teachers there. Injuries and the like were common occurrences. Lin Ming's current methods weren't even 1% of what he used in actual combat. Is there no one else? Lin Ming looked around. His attacks were too fierce. Everyone present was stunned. Let me teach you a lesson, you vicious fellow. A person dressed in black appeared in the crowd. Senior Mo ran. Following the appearance of this man, everyone cried out in shock. They didn't expect that this battle would actually attract Senior Mo ran to make a move. One had to know that this person was the true prodigy. And he was adored by all the teachers. Some large clans were all fighting to provide resources for him. In Green Academy, Mo Ran was definitely a hot-blooded figure. Even Senior Mo Ran has made a move. This arrogant fellow, just wait for death. Let's have a bet if this Lin Ming can last. A few rounds in Senior Mo Ran's hands. As Mo Ran entered the arena, some people actually started to bet. Senior Mo Ran, please sign the contract. Lin Ming looked at Mo Ran, who entered the arena and was still as calm as the wind and clouds. Aren't you afraid of being beaten to death by me? Mo Ran frowned and looked at Lin Ming. If I sign the contract, even if I am beaten to death by Senior Mo Ran, it will be my own fault. Lin Ming smiled faintly. Beat him to death? In his dreams? All right. Mo Ran took the contract and signed his name. He wanted to cripple Lin Ming, so that he could take over the position of captain. Don't say that I'm bullying you later. Mo Ran's aura exploded, and everyone was shocked. This Mo Ran was actually a tier 4 mage. One had to know that there were many talented mages who could only reach tier 4 after cultivating their entire lives. There were even some people who only dreamed of becoming a tier 4 mage their entire lives, and this Mo Ran had already become a tier 4 mage just by studying at Green Academy. No wonder he's so confident. Lin Ming looked at Mo Ran and understood where Mo Ran's confidence lay. After all, in a leapfrog battle, even if there was only a difference of one tier, it was as if one was bullying someone of a lower tier. If it was a bit purer, it could even be done in an instant. Boom! Mo Ran attacked without any hesitation. He attacked with all his strength. In his opinion, a lion could use all his strength to bind a rabbit. And this Lin Ming was indeed not easy to deal with. Fire Snake Spell. The spell in Lin Ming's hand was still the simplest fire snake spell. Even if this fellow is pretending, he has to have a limit. At this time, he still wants to use the fire snake spell. He's courting death. He doesn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. This Lin Ming knows that he will definitely lose. Up until now, he's just trying to act tough. Looking at Lin Ming, who was still using the fire snake spell, the surroundings were full of ridicule. Lin Ming, don't be careless. At this time, Reg, who was at the side, couldn't help but remind him. He understood that this kid, Lin Ming, definitely had the ability to surpass his tier. But facing a tier 4 mage, he still used the fire snake spell. He couldn't help but be a little careless. Break. The fire snake spell's attack collided with Mo Ran's tier 4 attack spell, creating a scorching aftershock. This is impossible. Under everyone's gazes, a scene that everyone couldn't believe happened. The tier 1 fire snake spell and the tier 4 attack spell actually cancelled each other out. This also meant that the fire snake spell that Lin Ming cast was similar to the tier 4 attack spell that Mo Ran cast. If they were both tier 4 mages, it would be easier for them to accept it. However, Lin Ming was only a tier 1 mage. Moreover, he cast the beginner level magic attack that all of them knew. Mo Ran stood rooted to the ground, completely stunned. He was a hot shot, a prodigy, but all he had was disbelief and an indescribable sense of humiliation. This kid, he's simply... Even Reg, who was standing at the side, couldn't believe it at this moment. One had to know that as a teacher. He didn't even dare to imagine such a battle result. I overestimated my magic cohesiveness. Lin Ming sighed in his heart when he saw that the fire snake spell didn't cause Mo Ran any strong effects. However, if this thought was known by others, they would probably vomit blood out of anger. Senior Mo Ran, are you alright? Looking at Mo Ran, who had suddenly become stunned, Lin Ming was sincerely concerned. You don't have to taunt me. I underestimated my opponent just now and you took advantage of it. Lin Ming's sincere concern turned into a huge taunt when it reached Mo Ran's ears. Explosive flame. Mo Ran opened his mouth and once again cast a tier 4 attack spell. This time, he used his strongest attack to drain all the magic power in his body and kill Lin Ming in one hit. Lin Ming also felt the power coming from Mo Ran's body, so he made a decision, and that was to use a tier 2 spell to fight. Die. Mo Ran's eyes were red. He would never be able to wash away this humiliation. Fire Wheel Blade Technique. Lin Ming gathered his magic power, and 4 fiery wheel blades appeared behind him. Go. Lin Ming flicked his finger. Immediately, 4 fiery wheel blades shot out and clashed with the explosive flames that Mo Ran cast. Tier 2 spell, Fire Wheel Blade Technique? Although it's a powerful attack spell among tier 2 spells, but what Mo Ran cast? This Lin Ming? Everyone looked at the stage and wanted to repeat what they had just said, but it was like a fishbone stuck in their throats. After all, just now, Lin Ming's fire snake spell had neutralized Mo Ran's tier 4 spell. Now that he had cast a tier 2 spell, saying anything more would only affect their faces. Lin Ming, you're going too far. Mo Ran looked at Lin Ming, who had cast a tier 2 spell, and roared angrily. He would remember this humiliation for the rest of his life. And as he roared, the explosive flames became even stronger. There is indeed something. Lin Ming looked at the explosive flames, which had instantly engulfed the 4 fiery wheelblades, and nodded. Go! Lin Ming gently raised his hand and attacked the 8 fiery wheelblades once again. To condense 12 fiery wheelblades in such a short period of time. He is indeed powerful. A student who was practicing the fire wheel blade technique couldn't help but speak. HMPH, what do you know? Controlling the fire wheel blade technique is the most difficult thing. From the looks of it, this Lin Ming can only control 8 fiery wheel blades at most. A cold snort sounded and his tone was filled with jealousy. These 8 fiery wheel blades were once again swallowed. 20, how about it? Lin Ming's expression was indifferent. As he spoke, 20 fiery wheel blades instantly appeared behind him. At this moment, everyone present felt the heat of the training ground. This guy can actually condense so many fiery wheel blades in an instant. What kind of monster is this? The man who had just said that Lin Ming could only control 8 fiery wheel blades was instantly smacked in the face. Reg clicked his tongue as he looked at Lin Ming in the training ground. With so many fiery wheel blades, even he would find it hard to control them. Moreover, the energy in each fiery wheel blade was extremely stable, and the power was extremely condensed. Break! Lin Ming opened his mouth, and the 20 fiery wheel blades pierced through the air in 2 places. And at this moment, all the girls had found their Prince Charming in their hearts. That was Lin Ming. This time, the explosive flames were completely dispersed by Lin Ming. After dispersing the explosive flames, there were still 2 fiery wheel blades attacking Mo Ran. Mo Ran himself didn't have many actual battles. Seeing a tier 2 spell break his tier 4 spell, he was already mentally unstable. Now, he actually staggered and fell to the ground. Alright, at this moment, Reg made his move, and scattered the remaining 2 fiery wheel blades. If the fiery wheel blades really fell, this Mo Ran would probably suffer a wound that would never be healed. Mo Ran was also a talent in the academy, even if Reg was biased towards Lin Ming. As a teacher, he still had to protect Mo Ran. I refuse to accept this. Mo Ran reacted at this moment and stood up and roared loudly. Mo Ran, stop being a joke here. Quickly leave the stage. At this moment, Mo Ran's teacher's voice appeared, although he didn't believe that his proudest disciple was defeated by Lin Ming using a tier 2 spell. The reality was right there. Moreover, if it wasn't for Reg's timely intervention, this disciple might have been crippled for life. Teacher, Mo Ran, who had such a lofty personality, actually wanted to cry out when he saw his teacher. Alright, this teacher didn't want to continue losing face here. So he hurriedly left with Mo Ran. In the principal's office, this fellow is very strong. Under his leadership, even if Green Academy isn't able to obtain first place in the end, it wouldn't be a problem to be ranked in the top 3. Thinking that he could wash away the humiliation he had suffered before. In this competition, he was especially excited. Moreover, when the time came, he would agitate the principals of other magic academies and bring back something in the end. Thinking about it made him really happy. But I'm also very curious. How did this kid manage to fight so easily against someone of an upper grade? After the principal calmed down, he couldn't help but ask this question in his heart. A tier 1 spell can neutralize a tier 4 spell, a tier 2 spell, fire wheel blade technique, and can easily control 20 of them. The principal looked at the magic crystal stone. This student was so freakish that it was unbelievable. After all, Lin Ming was only a tier 3 mage. No matter what, Lin Ming is still a student of our Green Academy. The principal still had a general view of the big picture. Within the training ground. Today, no one will continue to challenge, right? After Lin Ming finished his second battle, all of the gazes that were originally filled with defiance and provocation had turned into reverence. However, at this moment, a very small portion of people had other thoughts towards Lin Ming. After all, the benefits of the captain in the end were too many. Thus, even now, there were still some people who were scheming. Lin Ming, the principal said that you can't refuse any challenge. So all of us here are challenging you together. You can't refuse either, right? At this time, a shameless voice appeared. The senior mage was naturally unwilling to hand over the captain's position so easily. After all, Lin Ming had only fought 2 battles. They had originally wanted to exhaust Lin Ming with many people and then take him down in the end. However, Lin Ming's lightning-fast methods and Lin Ming's own genius made them not dare to directly challenge him. Now, they could only find another way. Although saying this now would attract disdain and even ridicule, they couldn't care less now. After today's huge number of students, he wouldn't have any more chances tomorrow. Everyone, is there anyone who is willing to fight with me? The senior mage spoke loudly. Che, you're shameless. You're bullying a new student, yet you still have to call for help. You can just fight on your own. If you're afraid of death, why drag others along? As the senior mage spoke, his voice was filled with disdain. I'm willing. While there were people who despised him, there were naturally people who wanted to take advantage of this opportunity. In any case, the senior mages seemed to have come to an agreement as they surrounded Lin Ming. As the number of people increased, the students who wanted to leave also followed as if they were being led. In the entire training ground, 1/5 of the mages originally surrounded him, wanting to take advantage of this opportunity. No matter how many of you there are, as long as you sign this contract, you will be able to challenge me. And in a while, when you have a large number of people, the chances of you being injured will be very high. At that time, the teacher of the healing element will not be able to cure you. Lin Ming's 3 consecutive sentences made those who were originally relying on numbers to boost their courage start to have the intention to retreat again. The reason why so many people challenged Lin Ming was because of their selfishness. The selfishness in the depths of their hearts had even swallowed their conscience. Therefore, they could not be considered a group. At most, they could only be considered a gang. There was no cohesion or unity in them at all. Lin Ming spoke not because he was worried that their numbers would pose a threat to him. He just did not want to cause too much trouble. If you want to challenge me, please sign the contract. Lin Ming spoke again, and his aura erupted, forcing the challengers who were charging ahead to take a few steps back. And with just a few words, almost half of the challengers gave up on the challenge. This guy is indeed not simple. At this time, even the senior mages who had been scheming against Lin Ming had to admit Lin Ming's strength. But now, it was hard to back down. And if they could really rely on their numerical advantage to defeat Lin Ming, it would be worth it even if they had to bear the blame. Moreover, this was their only chance. By relying on Tier 2 magic spell, he could defeat the monster of a Tier 4 mage. In a one-on-one fight, they admitted that they were no match for him. After a while, many more mages signed the contract. Please, Lin Ming did not attack directly, but still made an inviting gesture. Everyone, you must use your strongest attack magic, and try to defeat Lin Ming in one strike. The senior mage who had gathered everyone to attack Lin Ming spoke again. He did not believe that a Tier 3 mage like Lin Ming could withstand the magic attacks of so many people. Even a magical beast with thick skin would not be able to withstand such a dense attack. Lin Ming, you could have rejected their actions. Even the principal could not say anything. At this moment, Reg clenched his fists and said, he remembered that the leader of the upper-grade mages and would definitely teach him a good lesson in the future. However, what he was most worried about right now was Lin Ming. With so many mages using their strongest magic attacks at the same time, even he wouldn't be able to withstand it. Lin Ming, you can still refuse now. Looking at the crowd that had surrounded him, Reg's voice became hoarse and urgent. Teacher, the contract has been signed. If I go back on my words, it is not me, Lin Ming. Lin Ming smiled faintly without any pressure. He naturally understood the concern that Reg had for him. However, he had sufficient confidence to face their challenge. And today, I want them to know the consequences of using despicable methods to deal with me, Lin Ming. Lin Ming wasn't a saint, since they had dealt with him in this way. Don't blame him for being a little more forceful. Reg was nervous, and he had already gathered magic power in his hands. He wanted to save Lin Ming as soon as he was in danger. Fire controlling spell. As everyone's magic attack arrived, a fire shield instantly appeared around Lin Ming, protecting him inside. Fire controlling spell. Out again. Lin Ming spoke again. There were 3 consecutive fire controlling spells around his body, protecting him inside. The first magic attack was instantly swallowed by the first layer of the fire controlling spell. This kid is really. Looking at Lin Ming, who was protected by the fire-controlling spell, Reg couldn't help but exclaim in admiration. Lin Ming had used what he had learned to its fullest. Today, I will let you all remember my name. Looking at the people attacking him, Lin Ming said coldly. Dazzling dragon spell. Lin Ming roared. Behind him, a huge flame soared into the sky. And at this time, everyone was shocked by the dragon roar and took a few steps back. It's actually the dazzling dragon spell. The upper grade mage naturally had some knowledge. This is impossible. Dazzling dragon spell. How could it be learned by a tier 3 mage? Moreover, the power that erupted now was not something that a tier 3 mage could use. The backlash was not something that a tier 3 mage could withstand. Break. The spells that had yet to reach Lin Ming were actually swallowed by the dazzling dragon spell. Absorbed. The dazzling dragon spell that swallowed the magic attack actually became even thicker. How can the dazzling dragon spell be so perverse? Reg spoke. He was the only person other than the principal of Green Academy who had learned the dazzling dragon spell. He understood the dazzling dragon spell. The dazzling dragon spell that Lin Ming had used was different from the dazzling dragon spell that he knew. As everyone knew, attack spells were divided into one-time and consumable spells. However, it was impossible for spells to become stronger as one fought. Wasn't this cheating? Naturally, Reg didn't know that. The dazzling dragon spell that he had cultivated was only the incomplete dazzling dragon spell. The dazzling dragon spell that Lin Ming had used was the true dazzling dragon spell. Even the incomplete dazzling dragon spell was so powerful, let alone the complete dazzling dragon spell? Destroy. Lin Ming pointed at the upper mage, who had just gathered in the crowd. The dazzling dragon spell immediately broke through the air and attacked him. The upper mage felt an incomparable pressure and quickly retreated. He couldn't dodge the dazzling dragon spell. With a scream, the senior mage fell to the ground. His body was charred black. Because he had gathered everyone, even the healing faculty teachers couldn't save him at the first moment. After all, he was the only one who had fallen. But the battle wasn't over yet. I admit defeat. As the senior mage fell to the ground and couldn't get up, some of the mages who wanted to fish in troubled waters immediately admitted defeat. According to the rules, I can't refuse anyone who challenges me. However, I didn't say that I have to accept your number. Lin Ming looked at them and said coldly. What? They just attacked me. After that, admitting defeat? What if Lin Ming was not their opponent and can't resist the attacks of so many people at the same time? He would probably be permanently disabled or even a zombie by now. Lin Ming gently waved his hand and the dazzling dragon spell was launched once again. At this moment, the challengers who were challenging Lin Ming felt suffocated. As the battle continued, the dazzling dragon spell devoured more and more spells. Now, it had completely consumed all the oxygen in the air. The dazzling dragon spell's attack was like a wolf entering a flock of sheep. No one could resist it. The so-called senior mage, the so-called prodigies, the schemers, and so on. In the face of absolute power, they had no use at all. I was really wrong. At this time, the challengers actually knelt on the ground one after another, begging for Lin Ming's forgiveness. Some of the weaker ones even lost control of their bowels. They had grown up in a greenhouse, so there were very few actual battles. Lin Ming, why don't you stop and let them go? At this moment, Reg's hoarse voice sounded. Lin Ming was no longer a disciple that he could teach. Now that the exit had been stopped, Reg was merely standing on the teacher's side. However, he also respected Lin Ming's current actions. Boom! Following the sounds of explosions and screams, the battle ended. In the training ground, the challengers were sprawled on the ground. Their injuries ranged from strong to weak. As for the upper-grade mages who were provoking and scheming, the situation was the most tragic. When Lin Ming first learned the dazzling dragon spell, Reg had said that those who were proficient in magic could control the dazzling dragon spell to fight all the time. Lin Ming, on the other hand, learned the complete version of the dazzling dragon spell. Not only could he control the dazzling dragon spell to fight all the time, but the accuracy could also be subdivided into each challenger. In addition, the complete version of the dazzling dragon spell could devour other magic attacks, becoming stronger and stronger. Just like Lin Ming, who was using cheats, he also took special care of a few upper-grade mages. All the challengers were now charred black, and it was impossible to tell who was who. At this time, all the healing mages in the school had arrived. Except for the healing mages who were originally present, the rest had suddenly received orders from the principal and arrived at the scene. Lin Ming, your dazzling dragon spell. Reg was already shocked to the ground. The dazzling dragon spell he used was fundamentally different from the one Lin Ming used. Practice makes perfect. Lin Ming chuckled, and the killing intent that had just gathered in his body dissipated in an instant. This time, our Green Academy will definitely win. Hearing Lin Ming's reply, Reg didn't pursue the matter any further. And the strength that Lin Ming had displayed also caused him to be unable to help but say these words. He had indeed seen evildoers in other academies before, but compared to Lin Ming, they were simply not worth mentioning. Teacher, this is all thanks to your teachings. Lin Ming scratched his head. Sigh, he should have been happy to have taught such a student. Now that he heard Lin Ming say this, he couldn't help but sigh. This student made him feel inferior. Here you go. Reg took out a recovery potion and threw it to Lin Ming. Thank you, teacher. Lin Ming downed it in one gulp. The battle just now had completely exhausted the magic power in Lin Ming's body. Of course, no one dared to challenge Lin Ming now. Hurry up and take a rest. I'll take care of the rest. Reg said to Lin Ming. Although the magic power was replenished through recovery potions, the fatigue in the body had to be slowly recovered. Okay, teacher, I'll have to trouble you. Lin Ming nodded. Lin Ming was the worst at cleaning up such a mess. After all, he was good at beating people up. But he wasn't good at saving people. Go. With his fiery temper, he wasn't good at cleaning up others' messes. However, he was willing to clean up the messes that this student caused. Lin Ming returned to the dormitory, closed his eyes, and recovered his strength. With the end of this battle, everything had become a foregone conclusion. And Lin Ming, through only 3 battles, had made the position of the captain unshakable. The upper-grade mages were now praying that their injuries would quickly recover, so as not to leave any side effects. What schemes? They didn't even dare to think about secretly scheming against Lin Ming. They were even afraid that Lin Ming would beat them up again. A few days later, all the teachers and students of the school gathered together once again. This time, everyone couldn't help but give up an area where Lin Ming was. Those upper-grade mages who stood at the front every time even ran to the back corner to hide from Lin Ming. 3 days later, the competition of every magic academy will begin. There will be a total of 10 people from each academy participating in the competition. Next, I will announce the name list. The principal stood at the top and took out a name list. Captain. Lin Ming. Captain is the team leader. Do you have any objections? The principal looked around. The students below were completely silent. All right, I will now announce the participating team members. Zixuan, Qingmeng. The 9 team members stood out as the principal read out their names. Qingmeng, why is this name so unfamiliar? Is there such a person among the strongest mages in the upper grades? Could it be that the principal has found external help? The participating team members were all the strongest in the entire academy in terms of magic level and combat ability. They were usually very famous, and it could be said that everyone in Green Academy knew of them. However, they had really never heard of the name Qingmeng. The academy's competition can only be attended by the students of our school. It's impossible to be an external aid. The thought of external aid was instantly dispelled. Silence. The principal's voice sounded. The honor and disgrace of our Green Academy will be traveling with you. The principal looked at the 10 people and said, within these 3 days, if you have any problems, our Green Academy will help you solve them as soon as possible. The principal made a promise. But now that I'm here, I still have to entrust you with one of the most important things. Don't let your body suffer permanent injuries. Most importantly, when your life is in danger, you must not force yourself. Immediately use the crystal and withdraw from the competition. Life was the most important thing, even if their ranking was slightly lower. Green Academy didn't want to lose the lives of their students. Yes, the 10 of them nodded at the same time. I won't say any more nonsense today. When the time comes, someone will specially tell you the specific rules. The principal still ended the meeting quickly. In these 3 days, some of the 10 people solved the problem of magic from their teachers. Some had learned new and powerful magic. Only Lin Ming had laid down in the dormitory for 3 whole days. 3 days had passed in a hurry. 10 people had gathered at the entrance of Green Academy. And all the teachers and students had come to send off the 10 people. Big brother, you must work hard. The 3 people in the dormitory said loudly. Lin Ming, as the captain this time, you must shoulder the responsibility of being the captain. As fellow students of Green Academy, if there are any internal objections in this competition, you must resolve it in a timely manner. If there is a civil war, don't blame me for not allowing you to graduate after you return. The most important thing was the right time, place, and people. As the team captain, Lin Ming has the greatest authority to speak and guide. You must bear this in mind. Although he was confident in Lin Ming's strength, the principal still couldn't help but exhort him. Principal, don't worry. Lin Ming smiled and said, if one was unsatisfied, then just beat him up. Whoosh! A small boat appeared in the principal's hand. As he poured his magic power into it, it became bigger and bigger. In the end, it turned into a huge sailboat and floated in the air. Wow! Everyone had envious looks on their faces. This was too cool. The bodies of the 10 people were surrounded by magic. And they were instantly teleported onto the sailboat. It's actually a traveling type spiritual weapon. With a mage, there would naturally be weapons used by mages and so on. However, ordinary weapons were simply unable to withstand the strength of a mage. Hence, at this time, spiritual weapons appeared. Not only could spiritual weapons withstand the strength of a mage, high-tier spiritual weapons could also give extremely high bonuses to magic attacks. Other than offensive spiritual weapons, there were also auxiliary and defensive spiritual weapons. Offensive and defensive spiritual weapons were more common, while auxiliary spiritual weapons were rarer. As for traveling type spiritual weapons, they were extremely rare. In this magic academy, even offensive spiritual weapons were hard to find, and the principal actually had a traveling type spiritual weapon. Not only did a traveling type spiritual weapon require expensive raw materials, but it was even more difficult to make. In addition, it required the support of crystals to constantly consume magic power while traveling. Thus, even if a traveling type spiritual weapon was made, it couldn't be used in the future. Now, the principal was using the spiritual sail in order to save face. If it were any other time, he wouldn't be willing to take it out to travel. Whoosh! The spiritual sail was extremely fast. Lin Ming, who was on top of the spiritual sail, could even hear the sound of it breaking through the air. This also set up Lin Ming's idea of refining. Right now, as Lin Ming's magic power increased, he needed a powerful spiritual weapon more and more. Whether it was an offensive spiritual weapon or a defensive spiritual weapon, raise your condition to the best. When we arrive, you will be directly sent into the secret realm of the competition. The principal said loudly, I believe you all know the rules. When the time comes, if you are in danger, crush the teleportation crystals and leave the secret realm immediately. It wouldn't be too much to ask them to do this 100 times. After all, this was a matter of life and death. Yes, everyone nodded at the same time. They also understood the principle that life was more important than anything else. As the spiritual sail moved forward, its speed became faster and faster, and as its speed increased, a protective barrier appeared above the spiritual sail. Every student on the spiritual sail felt the spiritual energy became denser. This was what the principal had obtained for them in their best condition by consuming more crystals. As time passed, they were getting closer and closer to their destination. We're here. While Lin Ming was immersed in his meditation, the principal's voice sounded. Everyone, stand up. Following the principal's voice, everyone stood up. What appeared in front of everyone was a huge castle. With a blur, everyone was teleported to the front of the castle. The open city gate was like the bloody mouth of a huge beast, giving everyone a huge sense of oppression. The principal was at the front, and everyone followed closely behind. Just the entrance alone made them shiver. Only Lin Ming was filled with anticipation. Principal Green, you're the first to arrive again this year. An old man came from inside, smiling warmly, and actually made the oppression in the surroundings disappear. And on his body, the team members who came couldn't actually feel any magic aura. This was the so-called returning to the basics. And to reach this level, one had to be at least a sage tier mage. In this castle, there was actually a sage tier mage. One had to know that in the empire where Lin Ming was at, there was only one sage tier mage, Senior Gandalf. The principal hurriedly bowed. The person in front of him had an extremely high status. As for Gandalf, he had been guarding the castle for so many years, and had never participated in any battles. He could be considered one of the few truly good people. Take your seats. Gandalf waved his long sleeves and said, yes. The principal brought Lin Ming and the others to take their seats in the castle. Their positions were arranged in the rankings of the previous competition. Lin Ming and the others were in the back. At this moment, many students of the Green Academy were surprised to find that the magnificent castle was transparent from the inside out. The principal looked at their surprised eyes and naturally understood the shock in their hearts. Principal, the castle looks so thick from the outside. Why is it transparent from the inside out? A student couldn't help but ask. Because the castle itself is a spiritual weapon. And this spiritual weapon cannot be used by any powerful mage. Even someone as powerful as Senior Gandalf cannot become its owner. He can only guard here to prevent anyone with bad intentions from destroying it. When the principal first saw the castle and heard that it was a spiritual weapon, he was so shocked that he was speechless. Spiritual weapon. When all the students heard this reply, they were momentarily speechless. Lin Ming stroked the ground. This world was too big. Principal, is it because this spiritual weapon is too big that no one can refine it for their own use? A student couldn't help but ask. No, it's because this spiritual weapon has its own consciousness. The principal shook his head. Has its own consciousness? Hearing this answer, Lin Ming was actually stunned. A spiritual weapon could have its own consciousness. What tier of spiritual weapon is this? Squeak. Just as everyone was shocked by the castle, a voice suddenly appeared, interrupting their thoughts. Is this a phoenix? Looking at the enormous, magnificent life form above their heads, one of the students couldn't help but ask. This is the mount of the principal of the Andrew Academy. The principal spoke. It does indeed have a little bit of the bloodline of a phoenix, but it's extremely thin. If it was a real phoenix, even a sage tier mage wouldn't be a match for it. The principal of the Andrew Academy arrived. After bowing to Gandalf, he quickly followed and took his seat. Hiss. In the sky, 4 Pegasus pulled a crystal palace and arrived outside the castle. What a gaudy thing. The principal harumphed coldly. It could be seen that he wasn't on good terms with the people from the Crystal Palace. In a short while, the participants from the various academies arrived one after another. In comparison, the spiritual sail that everyone had been envious of actually appeared exceptionally shabby. Lin Ming could tell from the appearance of every principal that Green Academy had always been at the bottom. And it wasn't all because of the students' problems. Green Academy's foundation and its own resources couldn't be compared to other academies. But since Lin Ming had appeared, regardless of whether it was the students with numerous resources or the monsters with extraordinary talent, one would be beheaded. Everyone, welcome to Pattenberg Castle. Gandalf floated in the air as he spoke. The fact that all of you are able to participate in this competition means that all of you are the most outstanding students in the academy. I hope that all of you will receive a lot of goods in this competition. These are the teleportation crystals. I believe that all of you will know their uses before you arrive. As Gandalf spoke, 10 teleportation crystals floated in front of each academy. The principal raised his hand, and 10 teleportation crystals immediately floated in front of everyone. Swoosh. At this moment, Gandalf raised his hand once more, and 10 more tokens appeared in front of each academy. In the competition, that academy obtained the most tokens will be ranked as the first place. Rankings are according to how much money the tokens are worth. Gandalf said. The rules have changed this time? As Gandalf spoke, everyone frowned. In the past, the academy that was last was in the first place. They didn't expect that this time, it would be accumulating tokens. They are simply afraid that Voldemort's plans will be shattered. This rule made those mages who hid completely useless. These are the only 2 things I want to say. After Gandalf spoke, he waved his hands, and instantly, a huge whirlpool formed. Sage tier mages. They are indeed powerful to actually be able to create a spatial passageway. This method made Lin Ming's conviction to become a sage tier mage even stronger. Once you enter the whirlpool, the location of the teleportation will be random, adapt accordingly. Before leaving, the principal instructed. You must remember to look for the students of our Green Academy in time to gather together for warmth. At this moment, unless one was truly strong, they wouldn't be a match for one against many. Furthermore, every student of every academy had to go through a period of adjustment before they arrived. Working together wasn't as simple as 1 plus 1. Yes, we understand, everyone nodded. As they gripped their tokens tightly, their bodies were instantly teleported. Green Academy. Lin Ming is revered within the secret realm. As they were teleported, the last sentence in their ears was the principal's revered Lin Ming. Whoosh. When Lin Ming was teleported, the ringing in his ears covered him. After arriving, an intense feeling of vomiting assaulted him. Lin Ming quickly adjusted his state. In this secret realm, they were basically all enemies. Moreover, before entering, the principal had also said that there were magical beasts in the secret realm. There were even some unknown things in it. Therefore, in the secret realm, he had to constantly improve his state to the best state. Roar. Just as Lin Ming adjusted his state, a roar sounded. The magical beast was indeed present in the secret realm. However, the magical beast that appeared in front of Lin Ming was only courting death. A Tier 2 magical beast dared to challenge Lin Ming? Lin Ming condensed a flame in his hand and instantly killed the magical beast. At this moment, outside the secret realm, the originally transparent castle suddenly began to appear on the screen. All the places in the secret realm appeared in it, and at this time, several people had already been eliminated from the competition. There were a total of 12 empires, which meant that there were 120 students from the magic academies participating in the competition. Some had just been teleported in when they were attacked by powerful magical beasts. They had no choice but to crush the teleportation crystals to save their lives, and some had encountered students from other academies. After being defeated, they were forced to hand over their tokens and crush the teleportation crystals at the same time. The most unfortunate one had fallen onto a rock after being teleported, and the teleportation crystal had been crushed. His attainments in magic had been sufficient, but now he could only sit on the ground in anger. There was nothing he could do. Luck was also a part of one's strength. All the principals of the academies were paying attention to their students. Their faces all depended on this competition. Inside the secret realm, spiritual grass? Lin Ming frowned. He didn't expect that there would be spiritual grass here to refine pills. It seems that there are unexpected surprises here. Lin Ming strode forward. There were too few things that could threaten him here. Or rather, Lin Ming had enough confidence to sweep through this place. Lin Ming was walking forward when a trap appeared, trying to control him. HMPH. Lin Ming snorted coldly. His body burst into flames. The trap that was trying to control Lin Ming instantly turned it into ashes. How is this possible? The person who had set up the trap in the dark had a dumbfounded look on his face. This trap was a spiritual weapon. Moreover, his teacher had lent it to him for the sake of ranking when he had come. How could a mage burn a spiritual weapon into ashes in an instant? Moreover, the tier of the spiritual weapon itself was not low. At this moment, although he was shocked, he also knew that escaping was the wisest choice. The existence that burned the spiritual weapon to ashes in an instant was not something he could deal with. Now, he could not care less about his heartache and quickly escaped. HMPH. You want to escape? Lin Ming looked at the escaping mage on the tree and the flames in his hands condensed. Fire snake spell. Lin Ming's tier 1 magic attack made the other party heave a sigh of relief. Could it be that teacher's spiritual weapon is too weak? Lin Ming's tier 1 magic attack made him unable to help but have this thought. But as the magic attack arrived, he instantly knew how childish his idea was. Phew. In an instant, he was hit by the fire snake spell, and a bloody hole was created in his shoulder. Gritting his teeth, he used his last bit of strength to crush the teleportation crystal. Fortunately, Lin Ming didn't have the intention to kill him. Otherwise, his heart would have been pierced through just now. As the mage teleported out of the secret realm, a token fell to the ground. Outside the secret realm, the principal of the Magic Academy frowned. The students who could reach this place were the strongest existences in the entire academy. And now, they had been severely injured by an unknown student of Green Academy using a tier 1 spell? Could it be Qingmeng of your academy? The principal of this academy looked at the principal of Green Academy and asked with a frown. No. The principal smiled and shook his head. Now, he could finally let himself feel proud. Now, it was finally his turn to show off. This feeling was too great. It seems that your academy came prepared this year. The principal of this academy looked at the student in front of him and immediately began to treat him. With such a powerful fire snake spell, a dark horse has appeared in Green Academy. This principal knew from this fire snake spell that all the students of his academy were not a match for it. If all the students of his academy fought together, there might still be a glimmer of hope. Congratulations to your Green Academy. This principal cupped his hands towards the principal of Green Academy. This time, I don't need you to accompany me to the bottom. This principal sighed. If this monster was from his academy, he would be able to wake up from his dream with a smile. It's just the beginning. We still need to take things one step at a time. After all, there are too many dangers involved. The headmaster of Green Academy started Versailles. In the secret realm, Lin Ming arrived in front of a nest. The sky was already dark. He still needed to observe tonight. After all, there were indeed too many dangers in the secret realm. It was better to maintain his condition for now. The night was exceptionally long in the secret realm. As the night deepened, Lin Ming felt several auras approaching in the secret realm. The probability of a mage advancing in the night was not high. After all, the strength of a mage's body would only change after reaching a certain tier. Lin Ming braced himself and lowered his aura to the minimum. At this moment, the principal of the Green Academy was also watching this scene with extreme nervousness. The people outside the secret realm seemed to have opened their god's perspective. The principal of the Green Academy saw that the blue magical lions that were extremely difficult to deal with were approaching Lin Ming. And now, the number of blue magic lions that were approaching has reached a terrifying number of 3. Even a tier 5 mage who is surrounded by 3 blue magical lions is doomed. At this moment, the mage whose chest was pierced by Lin Ming was also gloating as he looked at the mirror image. This guy, he's going to be crippled. He gritted his teeth. If he hadn't met Lin Ming, even if his final ranking wasn't so high, it would definitely be no problem for him to be above middle tier. Now that the spiritual weapon he borrowed had all been destroyed by Lin Ming, he didn't know how to explain it. He really wished that Lin Ming, who was attacked by the blue magical lions, couldn't even activate the teleportation crystal and be torn apart inside. Lin Ming stood up in the cave. His combat experience was extremely rich, and the few auras that appeared weren't weak. Now, he could only take the initiative by launching the first attack and breaking the situation where he was finally surrounded. Blue magical lion? Lin Ming looked over and instantly recognized the magical beast that had surrounded him. There is such a tier of magical beast in this secret realm. Ordinary mages in the academy couldn't deal with such a tier of magical beast at all. If they were surrounded alone, they could only crush the teleportation crystal now. However, for Lin Ming, this was just a hunting moment. Is he taking the initiative to attack? Outside the secret realm, the defeated students didn't expect Lin Ming to be so calm. He actually wanted to take the initiative to attack such a ferocious blue magical lion. Instead of running away, the principals outside also secretly praised this scene. Lin Ming hid in the darkness and leaned closer to a blue magical lion. The perception of magical beasts was very strong. As Lin Ming leaned closer, this blue magical lion roared loudly. However, this blue magical lion's roar was only halfway through before it came to an abrupt stop. Lin Ming's fire snake spell directly pierced through its throat. The other 2 blue magical lions sensed danger and quickly gathered towards this place. Die! Lin Ming no longer concealed his figure and quickly charged towards one of the blue magical lions. As for this blue magical lion, Lin Ming also instantly killed it. The last remaining blue magical lion felt the life force of its 2 companions disappeared and began to run for its life. Lin Ming naturally wouldn't let it go. Otherwise, he would be surrounded by many magical beasts tonight. Lin Ming directly used the dazzling dragon spell and condensed it into the purest form to pierce through the escaping blue magical lion. The eliminated students immediately stood up. Lin Ming had killed 3 blue magical lions in just a few breaths. As for the blue magical lions, they were existences that even tier 5 mages would find difficult to deal with. Moreover, there were 3 of them. Even the principal of Green Academy was unable to see through Lin Ming's background. What kind of monster has your school taught? When the principals beside Principal Green saw this scene, they couldn't help but open their mouths to speak. Lin Ming's performance was a little too strong. Could it be that a Tier 6 mage had appeared among the students of Green Academy? At this moment, Gandalf, as a Sage Tier mage, was also attracted by Lin Ming. After all, he sensed that Lin Ming was only a Tier 3 mage. Just based on Lin Ming's battle, some of the principals knew that Green Academy's ranking was higher than theirs. In the secret realm, Lin Ming cleaned up the battlefield and took down the useful parts of the blue magical lions. After cleaning up, Lin Ming returned to the cave and entered a meditative state. No matter what, he had to be in his best condition. The next day, Lin Ming continued to advance. In just one day yesterday, Lin Ming had already picked several kinds of spiritual herbs. There was one that he couldn't even get in the black market outside. Rustle, a strange sound rang out. Lin Ming entered the state of battle preparation. And what appeared in front of Lin Ming was only a Tier 3 magical beast. Lin Ming had dealt with this magical beast in an instant. At this moment, a voice rang out from within the secret realm. All mages, the second season begins. A world of ice and snow. Gandalf's voice appeared, and as Gandalf's voice ended, the entire secret realm began to become extremely cold. Even the sky was covered with snowflakes. The surrounding water flow and so on also rapidly froze. If Lin Ming had not been here just now, he would not have believed that it was still summer just now. Fortunately, the fur of the 3 blue magical lions that Lin Ming had killed yesterday had been removed by him. Through simple stitching, Lin Ming had put them on his body. The fur of a magical beast was naturally different from that of an ordinary beast. Just one layer was enough to resist the extreme cold here. However, some unlucky mages found it difficult to move even an inch. Just because of the extreme cold, they only had the thinnest clothes on their bodies. They had no choice but to use magic to keep warm. In the secret realm, doing so could only be considered as drinking poison to quench thirst. At this moment, outside the secret realm, there was another surprised voice. In this year's competition, not only are the rules changed, even this secret realm has an additional change in the weather season. In the past, the temperature of the secret realm had always been fixed. There was no rain or snow at all. The academy that won the first place this year is definitely the most valuable in all these years. The more conditions there were, the more difficult it was to solve. Just the increase of a season and the sudden change in the temperature of the weather would throw many mages off their guard. In the secret realm, as the snow got heavier, Lin Ming knew that it was better to build a place to hide from the wind and snow. He would wait for the snow to stop before moving forward. The flames in Lin Ming's hands grew, and he used the trees to build a simple residence. Lin Ming took out the blue magical lion's meat and placed it on the fire. Looking at the big pieces of meat that were sizzling with oil, Lin Ming ate heartily. After eating, Lin Ming picked the tallest tree and stood above it, observing the surrounding terrain. A forest that stretched as far as the eye could see. Lin Ming couldn't believe that this was a secret realm. Wasn't this a little too big? This was like a world. Not only did the secret realm had magical beasts and spiritual herbs, it also had weathers. Along with the ice and snow, 2 unlucky mages used their stiff fingers to crush the teleportation crystals. The heavy snow continued for a day and a night. Now, the heavy snow has reached the thickness of half a person. This made the principals outside the secret realm have a lot of expressions on their faces. This year's competition was really strange. This kind of snow was really difficult for mages to move an inch. And if this continued, the duration of this competition would increase by several times. Even if everyone was moving, their movements would become much slower. And under this kind of environment and conditions, what they could not overcome was not only the students of other academies and magical beasts. It was their own bodies that were the hardest to guarantee. In this place, food, water, and so on all had to be taken care of. It was fine if the time was short, but if the time was long, even the slightest cold would weaken their combat powers by several times. It's a little too thick. And no matter where we go, there will be footprints left behind. Lin Ming frowned. This place had completely restored all sorts of problems, such as entering the magic forest. Right now, more than half of the mages were waiting on the spot. This climate might last until the end. It could be winter, or it could be 1 or 2 days. At this time, no one could explain the change of climate. And Lin Ming didn't want to continue wasting time here. Suddenly, Lin Ming thought of something. If I had known earlier, I would have kept these 3 blue magical lions alive. Lin Ming couldn't help but say. However, it could be seen that there were no less magical beasts in this secret realm. Lin Ming had only entered for a day or so, but he had already been attacked 3 times by magical beasts. Lin Ming walked out of the cave and began to move forward using the trees. However, his speed was naturally greatly affected. As Lin Ming moved forward, the trees became denser and denser. Outside the secret realm. Don't go, the principal shouted frantically in his heart. But how could Lin Ming, who was in the secret realm, possibly hear it? And through the battle between Lin Ming and the blue magical lions, the few principals who had started paying attention to Lin Ming were also excited in their hearts. If this trump card student of Green Academy were to encounter that existence, their academy would lose a crushing opponent. Within the secret realm, as Lin Ming advanced, a huge cave appeared. Lin Ming looked ahead, and a great sense of threat appeared. Lin Ming instinctively wanted to leave, but he controlled himself. Outside the secret realm, the principal heaved a sigh of relief. Fortunately, that existence didn't take the initiative to attack Lin Ming. Every magical beast had an extremely strong territorial awareness. Now, perhaps because of the appearance of extreme cold, the body instinctively went into a state similar to hibernation. It believed that when Lin Ming saw such a huge nest, he naturally understood the danger. After all, the magical beast itself had its own pressure. I wonder, what tier the magical beast is in this nest? The magical beast in this nest was at least at tier 6, and the strongest magical beast that Lin Ming had killed was only tier 6. And what Lin Ming wanted to do was not just killing. He wanted to tame a magical beast, and use it as his mount to walk in this world of ice and snow. If it was a simple kill, there was no need for Lin Ming to take the initiative to provoke it. After all, what Lin Ming killed was a threat to him, and taming was many times harder than killing. Of course, the stronger the magical beast was now, the harder it was to tame. At that time, it would be of greater help to him. A tier 2, tier 3 magical beast was naturally easy to tame, but in the end, the help given to him was only for traveling. There was no other use. And what Lin Ming wanted was not just to travel. Why aren't you leaving yet? Looking at Lin Ming, who still hadn't left the secret realm, Principal Green suddenly had a bad feeling. This kid actually took the initiative to make a move. He's simply courting death. His strength is undeniable, but subtlety is too arrogant and conceited. Looking at Lin Ming, who actually took the initiative to make a move in the secret realm, some of the principals who were disappointed a moment ago immediately laughed out loud. And when Principal Green saw the scene in front of him, he instantly had the thought that the odds were against him. Lin Ming, you shouldn't have. Principal Green sighed. Originally, there was a high chance of winning the championship. But he had actually taken the initiative to provoke such a powerful existence. The chances of dying halfway were too high. Roar. Following Lin Ming's initiative to attack, a loud roar sounded. What followed was the shaking of the earth and the shaking of the mountains. A few academy mages who happened to pass by quickly left with a change in their expressions. A huge figure appeared in front of Lin Ming. Golden Bear? Lin Ming frowned. He did not expect that there were even tier 7 magical beasts in this secret realm. And the Golden Bear, because of its bloodline, was a rare opponent among tier 7 magical beasts. From the looks of it, the Golden Bear's bloodline was even purer. Its entire body seemed to be surrounded by gold. Looking at Lin Ming, who had disturbed his sleep, the Golden Bear jumped up and slapped Lin Ming hard. Lin Ming's eyelids twitched. Even a Sage tier mage wouldn't be able to withstand such a slap, let alone him. Lin Ming used the inertia of the trees and his body to quickly retreat a long distance. The area hit by the Golden Bear, even if it was an aftershock, the huge trees would be reduced to dust. Are you willing to become my mount? Lin Ming looked at the Golden Bear and asked. Magical beasts of this level naturally couldn't communicate with humans through language. However, their intelligence could already understand simple words. Roar. Becoming a human mount was the greatest humiliation. If Lin Ming was a Sage tier mage, it would have no choice but to obey. And through its senses, Lin Ming was only a tier 3 mage. Wasn't this a pure insult to itself? The Golden Bear became even more furious and launched an even faster and fiercer attack at Lin Ming. However, in its heart, it still did not put Lin Ming in its eyes. Therefore, it didn't use any of its unique skills. Instead, it attacked Lin Ming through its body. Dazzling Dragon Spell. At this moment, Lin Ming didn't dare to be arrogant. He used his strongest attack magic to attack the golden bear. Everything in the secret realm was displayed in the castle. This was what the principal had said before. Therefore, Lin Ming couldn't use his trump card in front of everyone. Moreover, with the appearance of his trump card, the golden bear was no match for him. Lin Ming poured all the magic into his body, and for the first time, he truly and completely unleashed the Dazzling Dragon Spell. The Dazzling Dragon Spell was too powerful. Even in the Green Academy, Lin Ming did not use his true strength to sweep away all the mages who were united together. And the Dazzling Dragon Spell that he completely displayed was extremely powerful. The golden bear was already afraid of fire. Even though Lin Ming himself was only a tier 3 mage, but the Dazzling Dragon Spell that he had cast was an existence that surpassed a tier 5 mage. The enormous heat caused the golden bear to be unable to help but take a step back. Lin Ming controlled the Dazzling Dragon Spell and launched a fierce attack at the golden bear. At this time, the golden bear also took out the strength that a tier 7 magical beast should have. Around the golden bear's body, a shield appeared, blocking Lin Ming's Dazzling Dragon Spell. Among all the combat skills that the golden bear possessed, this shield was the most difficult to deal with. The reason why the golden bear was ranked among the top tier 7 was because of the shield. Its defense was too strong. However, Lin Ming's Dazzling Dragon Spell forced the golden bear, which had activated the shield, back a few steps. Shield? What posed a threat to Lin Ming was the golden bear's terrifying attacks. If the golden bear was in pain and started to defend, wouldn't Lin Ming own the world? Fire Wave Technique. Lin Ming used the Fire Wave Technique to surround the golden bear. Although the golden bear with a shield could resist damage, the heat of the flames could only weaken it. The golden bear roared angrily. With its intelligence, it understood that if it continued to passively defend, then it would only be roasted to death. Roar! The golden bear's figure suddenly expanded, and its paws were like sharp swords as it attacked Lin Ming. Fire Controlling Spell. Lin Ming immediately began to defend, and his figure quickly retreated. His fire controlling spell was only used to resist the golden bear's aftershocks. If he was really slapped by the golden bear, this fire controlling spell could be said to have no effect at all. Dazzling Dragon Spell. Lin Ming waved his left hand, and 2 Dazzling Dragon spells instantly attacked the golden bear. This Dazzling Dragon spell itself consumed a lot of energy. When Lin Ming cast and controlled the 2 Dazzling Dragon spells, he felt a sense of powerlessness in his body. Fortunately, he had enough magic potions and recovery pills on him, so he could replenish his magic in time. Lin Ming's magic was pure and powerful enough. At this time, the golden bear was entangled by the 2 Dazzling Dragon spells. Its surroundings were also surrounded by the waves of fire released by Lin Ming. However, as a tier 7 magical beast, the golden bear would not be subdued just like that. Its body once again activated its power, and the shield became even thicker and heavier. It broke through the entanglement of the Dazzling Dragon spell and attacked Lin Ming. Meanwhile, Lin Ming was continuously retreating through the resistance of the forest. I don't care. If this continues, even if magic can be replenished, my body's strength will be completely exhausted. Lin Ming frowned. This tier 7 magical beast was indeed difficult to deal with. If not for the resistance of these woods, he might have already been attacked by the golden bear. Dazzling Dragon Spell. Lin Ming cast the Dazzling Dragon Spell again, and another 2 Dazzling Dragon spells appeared. 4. Outside the secret realm, Principal Green almost stood up. One had to know that as Principal Green, he had cultivated the Dazzling Dragon spell for the longest time, so he could only control 3 Dazzling Dragon spells to fight at the same time. And at this moment, Lin Ming was actually controlling 4 of them, and although this was monstrous, it was unable to cause substantial damage to the golden bear. Lin Ming drank another bottle of magic potion in one gulp, and his magic power quickly recovered. Today, I will definitely subdue you, this vile creature. The more powerful he was, the more Lin Ming had the desire to subdue him. If he were to subdue such a powerful golden bear, he wouldn't even need to take action in the remaining battles. At that time, it was likely that just one golden bear would be able to defeat all the students of the academy. Dazzling Dragon Spell. The 6 Dazzling Dragon spells were controlled by Lin Ming at the same time. This time, the Golden Bear was entangled by the 6 Dazzling Dragon spells controlled by Lin Ming, and was unable to attack Lin Ming anymore. At this moment, not only did Lin Ming's magic power dry up again, but his body was also unable to hold on any longer. After all, to control magic, not only did he need to have enough magic power, but he also needed to control his body and mind. It's still not enough, although the Golden Bear was tightly entangled by the Dazzling Dragon spell, it still did not have any injuries. If it continued to wear down, the Golden Bear might have a flaw. However, Lin Ming's body might not be able to last until then. After all, the body constitution of a magical beast was much stronger than that of a human. 8 Dazzling Dragon spells. I don't believe that they won't be a threat to you. Lin Ming gritted his teeth and went all out. Rather than being worn down to death, he might as well go all out in exchange for an opportunity. 8 spells. At this moment, the principal outside the secret realm was leaning back in his chair. His legs were already weak, let alone standing up in excitement. He was only 1 step away from the maximum limit of 3 times. And Lin Ming was only a tier 3 mage now. Principal Green, did you arrange for the teachers of your academy to go in? At this moment, a principal of an academy couldn't help but ask. He could take on a tier 7 magical beast single-handedly, and now that he had already controlled it, the students couldn't do it at all. No, at this moment, Principal Green didn't even have the mood to show off anymore. He had suffered a huge blow. As a principal, he could only control 3 Dazzling Dragon spells. Lin Ming had already summoned 8, and even the teachers couldn't compete with him. This is your academy's trademark offensive magic, Dazzling Dragon spell? At this moment, Gandalf was sitting beside Principal Green. Lin Ming's monstrous level was not something that a Green Academy could nurture. Yes, Principal Green nodded. I've seen you use it before. Why does it feel different? Gandalf had seen the Dazzling Dragon spell before, but it was different from what Lin Ming had used in the secret realm. According to him, practice makes perfect. At that time, Reg had asked Lin Ming this question, but Lin Ming had fooled him. The Dazzling Dragon spell he used is more powerful. The fire element is more stable, and his control is stronger. This is not something that can be explained by practice. I'm afraid that the Dazzling Dragon spell in your academy is incomplete. And what this little friend used is the complete Dazzling Dragon spell. As expected of a Sage tier mage, Gandalf was able to analyze it so thoroughly just outside the secret realm. You mean, hearing Gandalf say that the Dazzling Dragon spell that he was so proud of was incomplete. This made him feel even more depressed. The first-year student in his academy was all cultivating under his father's generation of magic? This young friend, when the time comes, are you willing to let him cultivate with me? Gandalf's current address of Lin Ming had become young friend. This proved that Gandalf highly approved of Lin Ming. That's natural. After all, this kind of monster is no longer something that our Green Academy can teach. Principal Green nodded, following the exchange between Gandalf and Principal Green. The surrounding people all revealed envious gazes. In the secret realm, Lin Ming, who was controlling the 8 Dazzling Dragon spells, felt waves of exhaustion hitting his body. However, Lin Ming was different from ordinary mages. His mental strength was not affected at all. At this moment, with the 8 Dazzling Dragon spells attacking, the Golden Bear had the thought of retreating. Because the 8 Dazzling Dragon spells had broken the balance of the stalemate, the Golden Bear was on the verge of defeat. At this moment, the 8 Dazzling Dragon spells surrounding the Golden Bear started to pull each other. These 8 Dazzling Dragon spells had the intention of merging. Merge. Lin Ming was pleasantly surprised. He had wanted to win by relying on quantity. Now that the Dazzling Dragon spells had begun to merge, he had found a new direction and won by relying on quality. If the 8 Dazzling Dragon spells were merged together, the power of it would not be as simple as 1 + 1. Under Lin Ming's control, the 8 Dazzling Dragon spells started to merge at an extremely fast speed. Roar. After the 8 Dazzling Dragon spells merged, a roar sounded. The roar of the Dazzling Dragon spell made the Golden Bear take a few steps back. It was only an offensive spell, but it made the Golden Bear feel a pressure from its bloodline. Merged already? The principal outside the secret realm stuttered. Everyone outside the secret realm was attracted by Lin Ming. After all, compared to this monster, the prodigies of his own academy are nothing. Some of the captains were still waiting for the snowstorm to die down. In the secret realm, as the merging continued, the dazzling dragon spell seemed to have a life of its own. As it ferociously charged towards the golden bear. The golden bear was only attacked once, but its body's shield immediately shattered. And the golden bear was directly knocked to the ground by the attack. Last chance, Lin Ming raised his palm, and the golden bear was firmly suppressed by the dazzling dragon spell. Woo! The golden bear stood up, and its front half knelt on the ground, indicating its submission. Its submission was not only due to Lin Ming's immense strength, but also due to the suppression of his bloodline. It was also due to the merging of the dazzling dragon spell. That gave him the pressure of his bloodline. At this moment, after the golden bear was subdued, outside the secret realm, the castle had already exploded into chaos. They no longer had the dignity that a principal should have in the past. Senior Gandalf, this Green Academy is cheating. A principal of the academy shouted. His position was at the very front. In other words, in the previous competition, his academy had taken first place. And their academy had been in this position for a long time. This time, Lin Ming's appearance alone was likely enough to kick their academy out of this position. Of course, other than feeling indignant, there was also Lin Ming. He was indeed too monstrous. Even the teachers of the magic academies were unable to directly subdue a Tier 7 magical beast, and it was this so-called first-year student who participated in the competition who was actually able to subdue the golden bear in such a short period of time with his own strength. This Lin Ming is indeed a first-year student of Green Academy. Gandalf also understood the thoughts of all the principals present. Even he, a sage-tier mage, was shocked by Lin Ming, let alone them, in the secret realm. Let's go, follow me in the battle. Lin Ming sat on the golden bear, feeling as though he could see the small mountains at a glance. Even if the snow now was enough to submerge half of the people. But to the paw of the golden bear, the snow was only a scratch to the fur. Roar! The golden bear roared and looked at a certain spot. There are mages there? Lin Ming asked. Hearing Lin Ming's question, the golden bear nodded. Let's go meet them. After Lin Ming spoke, the golden bear started to run towards the direction it was looking at. As the golden bear ran, the surroundings started to shake. Lin Ming did not expect that subduing the golden bear would not only solve the problem of movement, but it would also guide him this time. Lin Ming was very satisfied with the golden bear. In this secret realm, the thing that gave Lin Ming the biggest headache was finding the mages from the other academies. After all, in a battle, Lin Ming could be said to be able to kill instantly. However, the secret realm was big enough. It was easy to kill people, but difficult to find people. Now, the golden bear has solved this problem perfectly. Moreover, when the golden bear ran, its speed was fast enough. As long as the mages were sensed by the golden bear, they basically did not run. What's going on? At this moment, the two mages that were locked onto by the golden bear frowned. They felt that the ground they were on started to shake. This made them nervous. In the secret realm, the unknown dangers brought to them were too many. A Tier 7 magical beast, the two mages could have found their classmates in the academy, and their chances of winning would have been much higher during the battle. They did not expect a Tier 7 magical beast to appear in front of them the moment they met. Damn it, the two of them took big steps back, but their speed was still too slow compared to the golden bear in this empty space. Crush the teleportation crystal. Survival is the most important thing, a student said loudly. Their bodies were surrounded by light, and they instantly disappeared into the secret realm. In front of Lin Ming, 2 more tokens fell. Counting, Lin Ming already had 4 tokens on him, and the 2 unlucky mages who were defeated only saw Lin Ming on the back of the golden bear after they left the secret realm. Principal, isn't he cheating? The 2 students couldn't help but open their mouths. How could others fight against him like this? There's no other way. This time, I'm afraid that Green Academy will sweep away the other academies. The principal of this academy only sighed. This kind of monster only appeared once in 1,000 years. And it was even obtained by Green Academy. In the future, Green Academy would probably have a well-known name in all the empires. The principals of the other academies also sighed. In their hearts, they had already tacitly agreed to Green Academy's #1 position. Now, all their gazes were also drawn by Lin Ming, and the golden bear itself had its own navigation. So in just 6 hours, Lin Ming had already taken care of 8 mages. Every mage that was eliminated repeated the words, saying Lin Ming was cheating. Wait, in the secret realm, seeing the golden bear about to attack, Lin Ming hurriedly stopped it. Qingmeng, the person in front of him, was a student of Green Academy, Qingmeng. This student, Qingmeng, was extremely mysterious, and if the monster Lin Ming hadn't appeared, this captain would have been Qingmeng. However, Qingmeng didn't make a move when everyone was challenging Lin Ming. Therefore, Lin Ming did not know what Qingmeng's actual combat was like. Captain Lin Ming? Looking at Lin Ming, who jumped down from the golden bear, Qingmeng was stunned for a moment. Let's go together, Lin Ming said. As the captain, he naturally carried his own responsibility. Moreover, Lin Ming did not have any negative feelings towards Qingmeng. Captain Lin Ming, you and this golden bear. Qingmeng looked at the huge object in front of him and did not dare to approach it for a moment. Don't worry, the golden bear has been subdued by me. Let's go. Lin Ming opened his mouth and the golden bear crouched down, letting Lin Ming ride on it. Qingmeng naturally did not have the courage, but he was also extremely smart. He used magic and quickly used the trees to create a simple sleigh. Qingmeng was initially unconvinced of Lin Ming. Although he didn't challenge Lin Ming at that time, it was also because the principal had repeatedly instructed him not to challenge Lin Ming. Now that the golden bear had appeared, he had no choice but to be convinced. How did Lin Ming subdue this tier 7 magical beast? Of course, even if he asked such a question, Lin Ming, who was on the golden bear, wouldn't be able to hear it. Being on top of the sleigh was already extremely satisfying. This was also much better than walking into the snow one step at a time. Moreover, if he followed Lin Ming, he would be able to retire. There was no need for him to make a move. Even Lin Ming did not need to make a move. With the golden bear, all the mages who entered the secret realm would not be a match for him. Wow, at this moment, the golden bear used its sharp senses to discover another mage. The golden bear sped up and the sleigh behind it soared into the air. Qingmeng, who was sitting on it, would have fallen to the ground if he did not react quickly. But even so, Qingmeng was still terrified. FCK, a tier 7 magical beast, the golden bear. The unlucky guy who was discovered was quite happy. He directly crushed the teleportation crystal. Qingmeng, who was sitting at the back, was dumbfounded. The golden bear only increased its speed, and it was able to defeat the mage that he needed to fight hard? Captain Lin Ming, please wait a moment. Qingmeng, who was behind the golden bear, said loudly. This sleigh, if the golden bear increased its speed one more time, it would fall apart. What's wrong? Lin Ming asked. I need to strengthen the sleigh. Qingmeng scratched his head and answered. He was a seated player, but now he was so terrible in front of Lin Ming. Now he was a sleigh repairman? Okay, Lin Ming nodded. In this secret realm, it was like he was on vacation. He was not in a hurry at all. Moreover, Lin Ming already had more than 10 tokens in his hands. There were already so many in the day. And with the golden bear, a tier 7 magical beast with its own navigation, the number would only increase exponentially. This time, Qingmeng learned his lesson. Not only did he reinforce it firmly, but he also redid the parts and details of his hand support. Captain, it's done. Qingmeng looked at Lin Ming and said embarrassedly. It's all right, the sky is already dark. There's no rush to advance tonight. Lin Ming got off the golden bear and prepared to rest. During the battle with the golden bear just now, Lin Ming's body seemed to have been emptied. If he hadn't been resting on the golden bear, Lin Ming would have started meditating and resting long ago. Now that the golden bear was here, Lin Ming could meditate and rest in peace. Qingmeng also took care of his expression. After Lin Ming said to rest, he quickly built a place to rest. Lin Ming also took out the blue magical lion meat and placed it on the fire. What kind of meat is this? Qingmeng only took a bite and felt his body and magic power rapidly recover. In the secret realm, I was attacked by the blue magical lion. There was a lack of food, so I left the meat behind. Lin Ming answered. This blue magical lion? If he had met a blue devil lion, it would have been difficult to defeat it. Now, their food was the blue magical lion. Sure enough, following Lin Ming, he could live happily ever after. It's okay, don't worry, there's enough food. There were the 3 blue magical lions. Lin Ming looked at Qingmeng, who had finished eating, and said, 3 blue magical lions? Qingmeng was stunned again. Not only did he have a good life with Lin Ming, he was also stunned everywhere. After eating and drinking his fill, Lin Ming began to meditate under the protection of the golden bear. In the extreme cold of the secret realm, the night was long. Qingmeng also began to meditate. After all, he didn't need to worry after following such a good brother. Even if there was danger nearby, there was no need for him to take action. The night passed quickly with Lin Ming's meditation and recovery. The next day, Lin Ming was full of energy and felt exceptionally comfortable. The integration of the dazzling dragon spell yesterday had caused slight changes to the meridians in his body. Continued to set off. Lin Ming sat on the golden bear and prepared to crush today. All participating mages, pay attention. There are only 3 days until the end of the competition. At this time, in the secret realm, Gandalf's voice sounded again. Inject your magic into the tokens, and you will be able to obtain the location information of the person who has the most tokens. This situation could not only end the battle quickly, but the mages who had the most tokens would easily become public enemies after their location was exposed. Let me tell you, the strongest person with the most number of tokens is Lin Ming from the Green Academy. After Gandalf spoke, the people outside the secret realm naturally knew of Lin Ming's monstrous ability. However, the people inside the secret realm had looks of disbelief on their faces. After all, in the past, the Green Academy was only at the bottom. If not for Gandalf mentioning it, many people would have forgotten about the existence of the Green Academy. Only the students of the Green Academy were excited after hearing the news. After all, no matter how their relationships were in the Green Academy, they were still a family in this secret realm. At this time, in the secret realm, all the mages heard Gandalf's reminder and injected magic into the token. The information of Lin Ming's location quickly appeared on the token. At this moment, everyone quickly gathered at this place, especially the people from the Green Academy. They had suffered too much in the secret realm and were looking forward to reaching the side of the organization. Of course, in this extremely cold weather, no matter how fast they were, there was still a limit. I have 10 tokens in my hands. I originally thought that I was already far ahead. I didn't expect that there would be someone who surpassed me. And this person is actually a student of Green Academy who has always been at the bottom. At this moment, a sinister voice sounded. It headed towards Lin Ming's position, preparing to defeat Lin Ming and snatch all the tokens in his hands. 10 tokens was already quite a lot. After all, this was the number of participants for a single academy. From this, it could be seen that this person's strength was definitely not weak. However, against a monster like Lin Ming, his arrival could only be considered as a served meal. Captain Lin Ming, being targeted by the students of the 11 magic academies. Qingmeng was also extremely nervous. This is great. There's no need to rush. Let's just wait here for the meals to arrive. He could see that the notification of having the most tokens appeared, directly saving Lin Ming a lot of trouble. At this moment, all the principals of the magic academies were hoping that their students wouldn't go to their deaths. If they went, they would be like meals being delivered. However, if all the students who participated in the competition arrived together and dealt with Lin Ming together, there was still hope. However, the chances of them arriving at the same time were too small. And if they came one by one, it wouldn't be enough to defeat the Golden Bear.